glasses. No, I think that you will use a pair of glasses to augment
what is
on your phone is in your pocket. I don't think the phone is ever going to go away. And that is something I will stake my reputation on. This phone is the most important computer in your life, and that will never change as far as, as far as a convenience factor. Having a small screen in your pocket is always going to be better than having to talk to your
Twin hammers look like the Siamese. I got that beam from the Japanese. My French girl waves reminded me of mac and cheese. It is what it has to be. I'm killing off what's happening to me. I have to see the rich and I swear it wasn't financial. And who be thrilling for it? Blind like there's some channeling. These bitches could have married a guy. It wasn't Magdalene. My shit was the little bro.
Hey, Steve Jobs, what happened to Steve Wozniak? Wasn't both in it, both were.
He was slapping that match
right foot.
Used to live on French Street, right in the Esplanade. Bitches run a ship and make us film it like espionage. You know it's not a separate. When they separate that you're not jumping in ships to be wet. Like a net with a cylinder, always spin. I can let go. Right up to the door.
Back again.
When you go on towards our music, baby, when we go on towards
Leave sight.
like other shots got kicked, I gotta shoot it. Nigga, if you talk that time, you gotta do it. Right, it's your man. I wear my heart on my iron sleeve. I'm the last of down bread. Right, it's your man. I wear my heart on my iron sleeve. I'm the last of down bread. Like he just wanna go on tour and make music. But every time you go on tour, it's all showbiz. Yeah, I'm the last of the dying breed. Uppercut these bucks in the chin and they die with ease. I bleed what I have to bleed. This blood's what I have to see. So big, bro, sit with your fat. I call it Applebee's. Who the fuck trying to get stuck? Tell them ask for me. That match pack about to get struck. Fight the gasoline. I've never lost. I got OGs to get it back from me. Call me down, call me the crown, call me your majesty, but they try to handle me not. Why play that? The bullets in that gray Mac A-track. They go way back. I buy them up, top them up. That's where the safe at. The numbers on your head, you already covered in face tats, boy. Why they always trying to snake that boy? Charlie got the defibrillator to shake that boy. Forget about it, you told me to rock it. Sunday, January 3rd,
here's what's making news this hour.
Improving distance and overall safety, the focus of new COVID-19 measures to be announced by city officials.
The worst case scenario survival handbook. In case I need to beat up a crocodile while my car is spinning out a black ice with hydro wires down.
Cases for the 5th straight day. More on your international developments ahead.
No farmers, no food. The message from protesters in Brampton against new legislation in India they say will exploit millions of farmers.
A sign demanding
Burn all the crops. Burn all the crops to see what the government does. Hey, put the word out to everybody to come take the crops themselves. Let them come take everything. You're gonna commit suicide with paraquat. You know how horrible that is?
The last of the dying breed is when I break that boy. Bringing all that beef to the farm, my man's branded you. If you ain't get respect in the streets, I can't stand it. After you and Fred on the beat, your man's scamming you. The bands is like a beast when it spins. Crash Bandicoot, pull up with a camera crew. Cannons in your face now. Anybody that's like influence is like your face now. White boy, nice with a pen. This ain't no air man. We playing hopscotch in the spots where the body's traced out. Cause when you go on tour, it's all music. And baby, when we go on
combination, no delays, and we're also trouble-free on the Gardner-Queenie combination. In Brampton, we do still have Queen close from McBean to Cherry Crest, and that's because of a collision. You paid for your disability benefits, and now the insurance company says no. Call Diamond and Diamond and get the compensation you deserve. Call 1-800-567-HURT for your free consultation. Your next report is at 2:11, and now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Well, it's a simple drive, a simple forecast. We have some snow for areas north of the city this hour, and it is really again, for areas north of Orangeville up towards the Dundalk Highlands. But again, it is
Dundalk Highlands.
like
Where the fuck
looking at
are
our
we in
camera in
Scotland, bro?
Collingwood, and it just seeing some very
Probably
light
we're
snow
Northern
again. It's
Ireland
not
with all the
accumulating very
walls
much. So
and
1 to 3 centimeters at best of
pipe
what we
bombs
can expect today.
and car
Temperatures
bombs.
will head up to 2 degrees and then drop down to -2 with mostly cloudy conditions tonight, and winds will be on the lighter side, so not much of a wind chill this evening. Right now, it is 1 degree out of Pearson International. 2 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high is 2.
680 News Time 202.
Torontonians are anticipating some new announcements this week, including new restrictions
But not
in the
today,
city as
thanks, bro.
COVID-19 cases continue to
Because
surge
last
in
week
both
when you did
Toronto
this, you flipped the
and
fuck out.
Ontario.
Oh, it's not Christmas Eve, it's Boxing Day. That's 2 days later. Why is it so early? So whatever these red things are.
COVID-19 aimed at businesses and workplaces. It's the
They
gist
appear to
and really
produce
all we
fruit
know
all
about the
winter
announcement
long.
that city officials
They look
confirmed
like
will take place
peppers.
tomorrow. First hinted at days ago by Dr. Eileen DeVilla.
These steps by Toronto Public Health are meant to create as much distance and safety as possible while respecting many people need to work and many businesses are
Need to
rightly
work.
permitted
Need
to
to work.
continue
So these look
operations.
pink.
Beyond that explanation, we don't know how these new measures will affect businesses, many of which in Toronto have been closed, with the city's time in lockdown reaching 6 weeks as of Monday.
I found
Along
it
with
in the
this
gutter.
announcement,
It's mine
two
now.
other measures coming into
What
effect,
to
giving
do with
students
these?
in need free lunches, despite the fact that schools are still closed, and allowing essential workers to receive free childcare again. All this as the province reports 25.
It don't matter if it's free or not. First
And
of all,
just
if you're a
under
stock
3,000
boy or a
infections, leaving the
cashier,
number of
you're not
active cases
essential.
Under 24,000. I'm Stuart McGinn.
I have to manhandle all the goods and have to take them out of the new box, put them in the old box, leave the old box on the shelf because I'm stupid. I'm going to stand in the freezer and never clean the bottom.
Saying resign now.
Or you
The
try to
former minister traveled
casually
to
follow
the
me
Caribbean's St. Bart's over the holidays,
notice if
returning
you
to
put on
Toronto
that
after his
show.
trip was discovered. Phillips now in quarantine. You can see a picture of the banner on our website, 680news.com.
More countries moving forward with their COVID-19 vaccine rollouts. The city's Michael Ranger has more on the latest international developments.
India has approved 2 COVID-19 vaccines as the country sets up for the first phase of a massive vaccination program. The initial plan will aim to inoculate 300 million people. Healthcare workers, frontline staff, elderly, and vulnerable residents have been given priority. The UK is facing pressure from teachers to keep schools shut down as the country reported a daily record for the 5th straight day. The UK set to ramp up vaccinations on Monday. Australia now reintroducing travel restrictions. States there seeing new outbreaks. 161 active cases reported in New South Wales. The Vatican set to begin vaccinations later this month. No word yet on whether 84-year-old Pope Francis will be getting the shot.
Why would
And
he?
stateside,
You're
Southern
trying to
California
induce an immune
hospitals that have been
response to somebody
overwhelmed with
that's already
patients
been
began to
exposed
receive
for
military
longer
relief
than you
on
have.
Saturday.
Viruses.
California reported a record
But
585
does not
deaths on
have
New
the
Year's Day. The
capacity
state
there.
reported over 50,000 new cases on Saturday. I'm Michael Ranger.
The death toll from COVID-19 in the U.S. has surpassed 350,000, and more than 20 million people in the country have been infected with the virus. U.S. government infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci says several factors are contributing to this surge.
Inconsistent adhering to the public health measures, the winter months coming in right now with the cold, allowing people or essentially forcing people to do most of their things indoors as opposed to outdoors, and then the traveling associated with the holiday season is all of the ingredients that unfortunately make for a situation that is really terrible.
Health experts are anticipating another spike in cases and deaths stemming from holiday gatherings over both Christmas and New Year's.
680 News Time 206. Happening now in Brampton, around 100 demonstrators rallying in support of farmers in India. They're protesting a controversial new bill in that country. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us live from here, Ontario, and steals with more. Michelle.
Yeah, Caitlin, this crowd just continues to grow. The protesters have now taken over all 4 corners of the intersection here in Ontario.
Really?
And
You said the intersection. We assumed it was the intersection.
So you probably are going to hear some honking in this report. And no farmers, no
This is my
food.
medicine. You don't use it, don't start.
They're protesting new farming legislation in India. They say will exploit farmers
They
already
say.
dealing with severe debt by opening up their grain sales to private corporations rather than farmers receiving a minimum guaranteed sale price from the government.
It's basically a death sentence for the poor farmers who already cannot service their debts because they're so poor.
Organizer Sam Gill hopes these protests will inspire more Canadians to join their cause. This is the 6th weekend of these demonstrations across the GTA.
Why would you
I'm in
expect
Brampton.
an Indian farmer to be able to service any particular type of debt?
We're a couple
That is
weeks into
stupid. You
winter
are
and a
stupid.
few days into the new year, but it doesn't look like a typical winter. Our meteorologist Carl Lamb tells us we can expect more of this mild weather as we head further into the week.
It is going to be a very quiet
see.
weather week across the GTA, aside from the chance for a little bit of snow on
These I go through in a
Tuesday,
day,
which
a whole
won't amount
bunch.
to
You
very
want to do
much.
this way?
That is it. We don't have any major storm systems headed to the GTA within the next 7 to 10 days.
The guaranteed high for today, 2 degrees, and throughout the GTA we can expect some snow, but it doesn't look like it'll be sticking around.
What does that mean?
6:80 news time, 2:08. As U.S. lawmakers prepare to certify results of the
I
president.
see where all you people are
presidential
throwing
election this
salt
week.
on
Republicans
snow,
are
thinking you're
taking
doing
up
a good
President
thing.
Trump's
You're
claims
retarded.
of widespread voter fraud and demanding a special commission.
And where the city
investigation.
dumps salt and
In a
it's like a
statement to
big
ABC
pile, that's
News,
because it bounces out of the
Vice President
fucking
Mike
hopper.
Pence's Chief of Staff Mark Short says Pence
that little
welcomes
bit
the
there?
efforts
Is
of
that
the
what I
members of the
want?
House and Senate to use the authority they have under the law to raise objections and bring forward evidence before
This is
Congress
perfect for
and
the
the American
fucking,
people on January 6th. The statement
tomatoes,
comes as a dozen
because
Republican senators have
that
pledged
Ziploc
to
seal
join
is
about
busted.
140 House Republicans
Well,
to
it's
object to
king. I'll put
certifying of
those
the
in here in a
electoral
second.
votes Wednesday. Christine Sloan, ABC News.
The country's largest transit providers say despite the COVID-19 pandemic, they're hopeful they won't have to cut any more service. The Toronto Star reports that despite a decrease in ridership, billions of dollars in federal and provincial aid are helping the services continue to run. According to the Canadian Urban Transit Association, ridership's decreased to 40%, what it was last year in the country's biggest cities. Last month, the TTC board endorsed a budget that would enable the agency to operate at 101% capacity, with streetcar and subway lines operating at roughly 85% capacity. We'll check gas prices coming up next.
680 News Time, 2:09.
This is 680 News.
Does your
What
credit
happens
card
if you
debt
get
keep
it
you
wet
up
and
at
get
night?
that fucking
I know
tar
mine
tar
did.
spot?
Hi, I'm Adam, and 6 years ago, I was no different. So I started Newboro.
Great.
Our proven step-by-step
I dropped a
system
bunch
helps
of them. I
homeowners
can't find
eliminate debt and save thousands, like Tina.
Now I sleep at night, my debts are paid off, and I only make one monthly payment.
Read hundreds of other 5-star Google reviews and apply today to start saving.
Use your home to get a loan with Newboro. Visit New.
Et on a travaillé à notre histoire pour supporter nos magasins et l'e-commerce. Et donc,
Rentrons dans
Au magasin.
ce que vous venez de mentionner là. Alors,
Day and experience why India.
This mic is Apple too. I got so much Apple shit.
Healthy Planet. All month enjoy Boxing Day savings on healthy foods,
I forgot about
sports, and beauty products.
A little while I
Now,
forgot.
Beyond Beef, Beyond Sausage, plant-based food. Buy 400 grams and get the second free.
wow.
Plus Mega entire
A
line.
little while I forgot.
25%
I'm
off.
sorry, I keep
Visit one of
forgetting.
Healthy Planet's 29 Canadian family-owned locations near you, or healthyplanetcanada.com.
680 News Time, 2:11. Traffic and weather together at the traffic center. Here's Christine Langos.
thank you, Zach. And it's a quiet afternoon on the roads this afternoon. If you're heading out for some essential travel, if you're trying to commute to and from work this afternoon, you won't have any trouble getting to your destination. So there's some good news.
Oh, it
There's
doesn't
nothing to
matter.
slow your drive. No accidents and no.
It's just nigger kids and there's no
construction right
cops
now.
around.
That's going to
Yeah,
slow you
it's,
down.
nigger
Now,
kid
at
is a
Brampton, we still
cop.
have east and westbound
Oh,
Queen
but I'm not
between
allowed to
McVean
arrest
and
you. I'm
Cherry
only
Crest
allowed to
Drive
shoot.
closed, and that's for
So
an
just be
ongoing
glad I don't
collision
carry the gun.
investigation.
That should be
But I
easy.
am hearing in Thornhill
I
that
didn't
John
ask
has
for it. They
reopened
didn't offer
between
it yet.
Henderson and
They say, oh, I
Bayview.
don't need
It
it
had
over
been
here.
closed for water main repairs,
One of
but
those
that's no longer
toss-ups.
the case. Your next report is at 2:21. Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
And we do have a little bit of light snow falling across areas north of the city as you travel up the 400. That is where we'll start to see some of that snow, maybe sticking to your vehicle as you're driving along. So on the 400 north of Highway 7, near Langstaff as you head up towards King Road. That's where we're seeing some of the snow coming down up towards Innisfil Beach Road. That is probably the heaviest pocket of where we're seeing the snowfall, the snow showers right now. So that is what we expect this afternoon. There's a little bit of light drizzle falling across the GTA and downtown over towards Hamilton. But other than that, really uneventful today. 2 is the guaranteed high, -2 is the low. Tomorrow's high +1. And we will have more clouds than sun, but we may get into a few periods of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, dropping down to -4 tomorrow evening. And then for Tuesday, we'll have a high of +1 and a low of -2. Overcast conditions, and we will have a little bit of snow shower activity, but again, it will not accumulate to very much. So it looks like that's about it, because after that, it is smooth sailing. I'll have those details on the extended forecast coming up in less than 10 minutes. Right now, it is 2 at, or actually make that 1 at Pearson, 2 at 680 News, and our guaranteed high is 2.
680 News Time 213. Well wishes are pouring in following news. World-renowned journalist Larry King is in hospital battling COVID-19. According to CNN, a source close to the family says the 87-year-old is undergoing treatment at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. And many fans and colleagues of King have taken to Twitter to send out best wishes and hopes for a speedy recovery, including MSNBC journalist Keith Olbermann. He tweeted, "The news King has COVID-19 breaks my heart. It's been easy to kid him, but Larry is a loyal friend, and his skill and knowledge of broadcasting is limitless. He also treats every small kindness as if it's the most generous act ever. Prayers." King previously survived lung cancer, a heart attack, and most recently suffered a stroke in 2019. We'll recap your top stories and get a look at sports next. 680 News Time 214.
He's got
Water came through, shorted out the furnace, the radiator too.
If you need money now, I mean right now.
And what do you have, 6 wives?
That's been there for you since 1984.
If you need money,
There's something there. If that many women are like, yeah, he's got that DNA I need, there's like, there's something to what I'm saying.
If you own your car or your home, get a loan. Loan up to $75,000 in less than an hour.
There we go. That should roll.
No proof of income? That's okay.
Financial.net.
Give your oven a break this year and cook all your holiday favorites on a Traeger wood pellet grill instead.
Yeah,
Fueled by all natural hardwood pellets, Traeger grills adding incredible wood-fired flavor to everything you cook. Traeger's also boasts 6-in-1 versatility that lets you cook everything from roast turkey and grilled veggies to baked cookies and smoked eggnog.
You're not going to bake cookies on a grill.
Control your grill right from your phone. To learn more and find a dealer near
Bake some
you,
cookies on a, I guess
Canada dealers.
Can your people work on like a pizza oven or a
light snow falling, and it's +1 in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon, I'm Zach Bodenstein. Here are the top stories this hour. Toronto health officials are holding a briefing tomorrow to announce new restrictions in the city. Still no word on what they'll be or when they would go into effect. This all comes as Ontario reports just under 3,000 cases of COVID-19 today. Around the globe, coronavirus cases and deaths also continuing to climb to record highs, specifically in the US and the UK, but more vaccine rollouts begin tomorrow and still to come. Calls for accountability on the streets of Iraq. Details on how parts of the Middle East are marking 1 year since the assassination of a top Iranian general.
How come you're not talking about Iraq opening up their arms?
Time 2:15 time for 680 Sports from
Sportsnet 590 The Fan. All the civilians are
Carl Lamb's Buffalo Bills are doing with Shil Ali.
Let's get right to the NFL scoreboard as we usually do on Sundays. 7 1 o'clock games to discuss. Bills lead the Dolphins 14-3 in the second quarter. Isaiah McKenzie has 2 touchdowns there. Josh Allen threw both of them so far. You can listen to that game right here on the Fan with John Murphy and Steve Tasker. Elsewhere, the Patriots lead 7-0 over the Jets in Foxborough. Cam Newton had a 49-yard run that led to a James White touchdown catch. Ravens are up 17-0 on the Bengals. Marquise Brown just scored for Baltimore. Nick Chubb had a 47-yard touchdown run for the Browns. They lead 10-3. They would clinch a playoff spot with a win over the Steelers. A bit of a back and forth between the Vikings and Lions. Detroit leads 16-14 over Minnesota. Marvin Jones has over 100 yards and a touchdown in the second quarter. Giants lead the Cowboys 6-3, and the Bucs lead the Falcons 20-3. Mike Evans has not returned from a knee injury, but both Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown have long touchdown catches from Tom Brady. And with training camps opening around the NHL, we are getting news of rosters from all over the league. The major holdout so far, Matt Barzal from the New York Islanders, he has yet to report to camp. That's from Arthur Staple. Right now, Barzal is an unsigned, restricted free agent. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
The city's going to send the sheriff to evict us? Right.
Being a new mom isn't easy. But hugging's easy. Loving's easy.
Or rat, whatever you
And baby D-drops are easy too. Simply apply just one drop where baby feeds. There's no taste, so it doesn't interfere with feeding. Pediatricians recommend vitamin D daily for breastfed infants. Baby D drops the sunshine vitamin in just one drop.
Oh, marvelous sleep.
Oh,
marvelous sleep.
Curl up with sun.
Oh, marvelous sleep.
Drool on the sheet. Dangle your feet, it's real already.
Boxing Week is now extended. Now's your last chance to get marvelous deals on our biggest brands. But hurry, it all ends Tuesday. Only at Sleep Country. Sleep well, stay well. Sleep Country.
You're listening to 680 News at 2:18. Anti-U.S. protests have erupted in Iraq this weekend, marking the killing of an Iranian general.
To watch this at CNN.
Corruption on the streets of Baghdad as supporters of the late General Qasem Soleimani demand America is held to account for his assassination. CNN's Arwa Damon is in Istanbul with more of what she's learning from her sources.
That the Iraqi government actually carry out what Parliament voted on last year after the U.S. killed Qasem Soleimani, which was to remove U.S. troops from Iraqi soil.
From the streets of Iraq to the parliament in Iran, ABC's Julie McFarlane with the government's response.
Iran has announced it plans on enriching uranium up to 20%, far below the level needed to build a nuclear weapon, but far higher than was agreed in the 2015 nuclear deal.
It was 5 days after the assassination. The Iranian military shot down a Ukraine commercial plane over Tehran. 63 Canadians died in that crash. I'm Adam Steinberg. 680 News Time 2:19 to Puerto Rico. There's new administration, and an incoming governor has his work cut out for him.
Facing a stagnant economy, debt, a pandemic, and a long recovery from hurricanes and earthquakes, Pedro Pierluisi, who was sworn in as Puerto Rico's governor on Saturday, vowed to fight for better government in his inaugural speech.
I have listened to our people and acknowledged
They don't
our
like
need
it.
for
We
better
just won't send them
governance
any
in
more
Puerto Rico.
uranium.
Pierluisi vowed to achieve statehood for the U.S. territory.
I need
Whatever bullshit they hook up to, water
our
treatment,
common
whatever.
enemies, the pandemic, poverty, and crime.
Saturday's ceremony marked the end of a chaotic 4-year period in which Puerto Rico had 3 governors, including Pierluisi. ABC News.
We'll check traffic and weather in 1 minute. 680 News Time 2:20.
Hi, I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. Covered by a mask and unable to touch, we've never needed our eyes more. To see and read, but also to smile, connect, and take the place of a hug. Why let glasses, contacts, and cataracts get in the way? Say I've had it and come to Herzig. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Herzig is prepared. You're protected. Look after yourself. Promise me.
Our local spot. It was there when we needed it most. The perfect gift. They had it. The perfect haircut. They trimmed it. They saved us a seat, a headache, and when we forgot an anniversary, they even saved our rear ends. Our local spots were there for all of life's little emergencies, even when they didn't feel so little.
Thought I had a drop of water in my ear.
It's our turn to be there for them. So shop safely and show your love for local. Ontario, yours to rediscover.
680 News Time, 2:21, time for traffic and weather together all at once. Let's check the drive across the GTA with Christine Lango.
Report is brought to you by Eric Matson and Associates. While I'm looking at the 401 across the city, and it's in good shape right now. I'm not spotting any delays. And the same goes for the 404 Don Valley Parkway combination. Those earlier issues northbound 404 at Woodbine, they've been cleared away. Now, I am hearing about a collision northbound on the 400 approaching Highway 89, blocking the left lane. Just have looked at that area. It doesn't appear to be causing any delay, so there's some good news. And along the south end of the city, you're going to find the Gardner, the Lakeshore, and the QEW is running well at this time. In Brampton, we still have east and westbound Queen closed from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's for an ongoing collision investigation. If your disability claim has been denied for any reason, call Aaron Waxman at 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD. Your next report is at 2:31, and now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Well, it's a little drizzly downtown, not the most wonderful day that we had, but certainly temperatures are a bit on the mild side for this time of year. We should be at -2. We're at 1 degree right now downtown and out at Pearson. We're headed up to 2 degrees for a guaranteed high today, and some of this snow that is falling for areas north of the city, it is very light in nature. It's not really accumulating all that much, so not very impressive snowfall for us today. 1 to 3 centimeters at best accumulating on surfaces that are not roads or sidewalks. So that's grassy surfaces, roofs tonight. And all of this will wrap up by the late afternoon and very early evening. And again, 2 is a guaranteed high, -2 is the low. For tomorrow, +1, more clouds and sun. Winds will be light as well. And then we head into Tuesday with temperatures right around 1 degree as well, overcast with some flurries and a bit of a breeze out of the northwest, so it'll make it feel a little cool on Tuesday. And then sun and cloud on Wednesday, a high of 2 degrees, and then there's more sunshine even for Thursday and Friday as well. Right now, 1 at Pearson, 1 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high is 2.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's something you hear a lot this time of year. Making space in your life is what a new year is for. Get a fresh start in your home and your life with Access Storage. With a safe place to store the belongings you love but don't have space for. Access Storage can be your resolution solution with flexible and affordable storage options and more than 100 convenient locations in Ontario. Get on with your new year. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit accessstorage.ca.
We're expecting to hear about some new restrictions in Toronto with health officials speaking tomorrow. We'll have the details coming up at 2:30.
We're here with you,
Until regular life resumes and after.
giving you everything you need to know.
Stay informed. Stay safe. This is 680 News.
The estate of legendary pop star Trippz is getting a bigger tax bill.
Trippz was known for his hits Let's Go Crazy, Purple Rain, and Kiss. But the IRS says his estate has struck the wrong note. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune newspaper reports the Internal Revenue Service insists the singer's estate is worth a whopping $163 million and is accusing administrators of undervaluing his assets by less than half. The singer died in his Minnesota home in April 2016. He was 57 years old and left no will. The dispute has led to a request for trial, which could drag out for years.
Yeah.
Erupted, ABC News.
This is 680 News. It's a sad loss for Vancouver's entertainment industry and the Indigenous community.
Actor and filmmaker Taryn Kootenay has passed away at 27 years old. His sister Cheyenne Kootenay is happy and proud of his accomplishments in the film industry, but she's most proud of the person he was.
Being loving and caring and thoughtful and humble and just not being afraid of anything and just living, and he definitely showed that, his career.
He also loved skateboarding and spent time teaching kids how to ride at Strathcona Community Center. He was born in Cold Lake, Alberta, and a member of the Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation. Taryn Kootenay's Indigenous name was Standing Sunrise, which his sister says represents the type of guy he was. I'm Kareem Gouda.
We'll head to the Business Center next and get an update from Mike Epple, 680 News Time, 2:25.
Stop the spread. COVID-19 can be deadly. The time to act is now. Everyone must do their part to stop the spread of COVID-19. Stay at home. Period. Full stop.
Avec beaucoup de virtuosité, c'est doit voir. Ensuite, bam, est arrivé ce qui est arrivé l'an dernier, ce qu'on appelait le confinement. Mathieu décide alors de présenter des chansons au grand petit concert sur Facebook, seul à la guitare. Le 9 juillet, il sort l'album live, le grand petit concert maison. Ça va? Tout le monde suit? C'est bon, c'est pas trop compliqué, hein? Donc, on y trouve sur cet album-là 35 titres enregistrés lors des concerts en ligne pendant le confinement. Alors, la seule qui doit l'accompagner,
He sounds like a racialized superhero. Super Pat.
ça, vous comprendre. Il y a des amis autant partout à travers l'Europe, ici au pays. Il y en a aussi en Afrique. Donc, on peut présumer qu'il y a plusieurs personnes qui auraient bien aimé ça, fouler la scène avec lui. Mais la seule qui a eu droit, c'est sa fille, Billy. On va entendre.
Simplified deduction on your form.
Et c'est très intéressant. Suggestion de balado, c'est pas juste acheter tel vêtement. Est-ce que vous avez une équipe jeune et branchée qui a du pif ou c'est d'abord votre propre pif qui vous guide?
Ah non, c'est pas.
Very detailed, requires you to track your expenses, keep receipts, track the amount of size of your home office relative to the rest of your home, and so it can be quite onerous. So this simplified method, what they're doing is saying that taxpayers will be able to claim up to $2 a day for working from home as a deduction. It's going to max out at a $400 deduction from their income. So it's not a huge relief, but it is something. And what's nice about it, Mike, is they're not going to need to track detailed expenses. It's on the form that they would normally use to claim home office expenses. There's a section that's been added to that form this year called the simplified method. And they simply enter the number of days that they were working from home, and it will calculate the maximum relief.
While your tax bill may be a little bit smaller, the amount of money coming off your paycheck
it's not simplified. You just divide how much you
that is a schedule. It was previously legislated. They've got enhancements going on to the CPT program, and they had 5 scheduled small increases to the CPP deduction starting with the 2019 tax year. So we saw that in 2019 and 2020. We are going to see it again for 2021. The rates are going up for the employee and employer deduction rates from 5.25% to 5.45%. So what that means is the maximum hit to an employee. So what will they feel? What pain will they feel? The maximum pain that they would feel is about $270. Employers are hit with that as well. So that is something that's going to cost both the employer and the employee.
That's Rachel Gervais with BDO Canada. The Business Center on Mike Up.
If life is a journey, we can help you enjoy the ride. For over 30 years, the A1 Group of Dealerships has been the Greater Toronto Area's premier automotive network, offering you the selection and service we'd want for ourselves. By treating you like one of our own, we can put you in the right vehicle, whether your journey is just beginning or taking you to the next milestone along the way. For us, it's the only way. The A1 Group of Dealerships. We're not just here for you, we are you. Visit us today at a1.ca.
There's still time to go extra rounds. 2001 Audio Video's biggest and best boxing week sale. There's still inventory for the absolute lowest price ever. From wireless and audio products to 4K smart TVs with 2-year warranty, made below cost. 2001 with the guaranteed lowest boxing week price. Shop online or phone for curbside pickup. 2001.
That light snow continues to fall in downtown Toronto. Right now, it's +1 at Pearson Airport. We have similar conditions. James Mackin is the editor. You want to start with digital desk, and it's 2:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good afternoon. It's Sunday, January 3rd. I'm Jason Lee.
And I'm Zach Bowden Sr. So what's making news right now?
Toronto gears up to announce more COVID-19 measures aimed at businesses as the city leads the way again in a provincial count of nearly 3,000 new infections.
A banner in Ajax demanding MPP Rob Phillips leave office following his vacation to St. Bart's. The politician just one of several Canadian officials who've been exposed for pandemic trips.
The UK is ramping up vaccinations this week as COVID cases surge. India takes a big step towards vaccine rollout. More on your international COVID-19 developments ahead.
A Brampton demonstration turning out dozens to stand against new farming legislation in India, marking the 6th weekend of these protests across the GTA.
7 games on the go right now in the NFL. Week 17 action and some Premier League scores from England as well. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, Airbnb was in the headlines a lot in 2020, and a Canadian organization keeping its eye on it says the pandemic might have prompted some much-needed change.
Time 2:31.
For traffic and weather together on the ones here.
The last 10,000 years, they rocked 6 weeks in the
Now we have problems northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, just beneath the Millwood Bridge, approaching Don Mills. It's a disabled truck on the right shoulder, and crews have blocked off the right lane as well. So you'll find it filling in quickly northbound Don Valley Parkway from north of Bayview Bloor to Millwood to the Millwood Bridge, where again this problem is blocking the right lane and right shoulder. And we had a crash northbound 400 approaching Highway 89, blocking the left lane, but looks to be in pretty good shape if you're traveling up this way. No problems on the 401 across the GTA, and we're still in good shape on the Gardner-Queenie combination. And Brampton, thanks to a traffic spotter for letting me know, eastbound Queen is still closed from McLean to Cherry Crest Drive because of a serious collision, but westbound lanes have reopened. The safety of drivers both on and off the road means everything to 407 ETR. That's why they've developed a COVID assistance program for those who need it most. Your next report is at 2:41. Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Well, the roads are just wet as I look across the GTA. That's the main story for us today. Even if you're traveling north on the 400 up towards, let's say, Innisfil Beach Road, that's not too terrible. A lot of this is melting right on impact and melting once it hits your windshield. So temperatures are just above freezing enough where that's the case. Thankfully, we're not dealing with complete whiteouts today. So that's just this light snow shower activity. There's potentially about 1 more centimeter of snow from this band that is continuing to move north this afternoon. Temperatures head up to a guaranteed high of 2 degrees today, and then we drop down to -2 tonight with mostly cloudy conditions. Winds will be on the lighter side as well. Right now, 1 at Pearson, 1 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high is 2.
680 News Time, 2:33.
Toronto health officials expected to hold a briefing tomorrow to announce new restrictions in the city on top of this province-wide lockdown. It comes as Ontario reports nearly 3,000 cases of COVID-19 today.
680 Stuart again has the details.
The week back from the holiday break will bring more changes, at least to the way the city responds to the virus.
The next several months cannot be seen as just to be waited out. We must be active.
That was Dr. Eileen DeVilla days ago, with officials now confirming an announcement on these new measures for businesses will take place tomorrow, specifically geared towards improving distancing and overall safety as much as possible. The big unknown is what that actually means, with only essential doors allowed to remain open in Toronto since late November. Those details will come as new supports also come into effect, once again giving essential workers free childcare and providing free lunches for students, even though they'll start the year learning remotely as part of the provincial lockdown. In case numbers continue to dwindle, any hopes the lockdown could be lifted early in some regions. Trends remain steadily higher, with 2,964 new infections and 25 new deaths. I'm Stuart McGinn.
This just in from Peel Region. A man is fighting for his life after a car crash in Brampton. Peel Regional Police say it happened around 1 near Queen Street East and Cherry Crest Drive. A pickup truck and a transport truck hit each other. The adult male driver of the pickup truck taken to a trauma center with life-threatening injuries. Westbound Queen currently closed at Cherry Crest while police investigate. Stay with 680 News for more on this breaking story.
This is 680 News. It's 2:34. Outside of MPP Ron Phillips' office in Ajax, a banner is hanging that says "Resign Now." Phillips has attracted controversy since he took a trip to St. Bart's over the holidays against public health guidelines. Upon returning to Canada on New Year's Eve, he resigned as finance minister, but did not resign as the member of provincial parliament for Ajax. Lee was also seen hanging outside of his door in his office the day he returned.
COVID-19 vaccine distribution continues around the globe.
The UK is preparing to ramp up COVID-19 vaccinations this week. This as cases in the country surge. Over 50,000 new cases and new daily records for 5 straight days. Over 500,000 doses of the recently approved AstraZeneca vaccine will be available for rollout Monday. That vaccine now approved in India, along with one from Indian drug maker Bharat Biotech. This is a big step in what will be a massive inoculation program in the world's second most populous country. Greece planning to reopen schools in just over a week, but the country is tightening its lockdown in the meantime. Retail shops, hair salons, and bookstores are now closed. A doctor in northern Mexico has been hospitalized after suffering a severe allergic reaction to the Pfizer vaccine. The 32-year-old doctor had a known allergy to antibiotics and is now in stable condition. I'm Michael Ranger.
The U.S. government's top infectious disease expert says the COVID-19 vaccine rollout is behind schedule.
The government missed their goal of getting doses to states by the end of the year, and states are using just a percentage of what they received, vaccinating only about 200,000 people a day.
We are not where we want to be. There's no doubt about that, but I think we can get there.
President Trump blames states. Dr. Fauci disagrees.
You have to have a real interaction, a real partnership between the federal government and the states.
He says President-elect Biden's goal of vaccinating 100 million people in the first 100 days is realistic.
We can do 1 million people per day.
Fauci spoke on ABC's This Week. I'm Julie Walker.
Happening now, a protest in Brampton is growing as demonstrators speak out against measures put forward by the Indian government. Ones they say will harm farmers there financially. 6 80's Michelle Mackey joins us live from here, Ontario, and Steeles with more. Michelle.
Yeah, Caitlin, the crowd of protesters just continues to grow. They're now lining all four corners of the intersection here at Ontario and Steeles, holding signs reading "No farmers, no food," and "Honk for farmers." So you probably will be hearing some honking. Just a heads up through this report. There's also a small convoy of tractors circling by the crowd in support.
A convoy of tractors?
Oh no.
Really?
Against the Indian government's anti-farmer bill.
Bill's protest organizer Sam Gill says we'll exploit Indian farmers by opening up their grain sales to corporations rather than a minimum guaranteed price received from the government.
Opening up their sales.
We're not a country. We have a voice in the international community. When we talk, people pay attention.
That's the message Sam hopes Canadians and the federal government will hear. Live in Brampton, I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time 2:38. Well, normally the new year means lots of snow on the ground, children making snowmen and enjoying the winter wonderland. But with a guaranteed high of 2 degrees today, there's not a lot of snow sticking on the ground. 680 meteorologist Carl Lamb says that this next week isn't going to be a very typical winter, and that it will feel more like spring.
If you are sick of the clouds, well, there is good news for you. That we'll see more sunshine as we head throughout the week. Once we get past Tuesday, the sunshine does increase for Wednesday, Thursday, and also for Friday as well. So it is an encouraging sign that we'll have drier and brighter conditions to wrap up the week.
We'll see some precipitation throughout the day. Currently it's 1 degree, and it feels like -1.
Team Canada continues to dominate on the ice in Edmonton.
Canada is up to the semifinals at the World Juniors after a 3-0 win over the Czech Republic. Dylan Cousins, Bowen Byram, and Connor McMichael scored for Canada. It'll be an old foe facing them in the next round as Canada takes on Russia tomorrow. The two countries met in the gold medal game at last year's tournament, with Canada coming out on top. The winner of that game will take on the winner of the other semifinal between Team USA and Finland. From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, I'm Rob Wong.
Diligence.
Adjournment.
Constructive dismissal.
Blah, blah, blah. A lot of people expect a meeting with a lawyer to sound something like that. But at Rudner Law, our team will provide the clear, practical advice that you need. My name is Stuart Rudner, and right now, the employment relationship is more complicated than ever. Whether you are an employer or an employee, we will help protect your rights.
HR lawyers, employment lawyers, workplace lawyers, whatever you call them, you'll be glad you did. RudnerLaw.ca.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Everyone predicts the price of gas will not change at midnight. It will hold at just under $1.08 a liter.
At Reliance Home Comfort, we're more than just heating and cooling. We can help with everything from urgent plumbing needs to lingering issues like a leaky faucet you may have been putting off. Our customers are our priority. That's how Reliance has earned over 50,000 five-star reviews, and why we always take precautions to ensure your safety. Plus, right now, Reliance Home Comfort is offering $50 off plumbing service calls, so don't put it off any longer. If you need plumbing help now, conditions apply. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Adam, founder of NewBorrow.com, and I started our company after I got fed up with the mortgage loan process. Turns out I wasn't alone. Thousands of homeowners wanted help.
They went above and beyond to help me get a line of credit. It was amazing service.
They treated me like a valued client and outperformed anyone I spoke to.
Want to lower your mortgage payments and save a little money?
Use your home to get a loan with New Borrow.
This is what a cigarette filter looks like after a fluff of cotton.
680 News Time, 2:41, time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Christine.
This report is brought to you by Pizza Pizza. I'm just having a look at the northbound Don Valley Parkway, just here north of the
In my mind, I'm thinking if it floods, make the
just
plant to
approaching
float
the
away.
Millwood Bridge, just in this
They
area.
use
You're
styrofoam
going to find
rafts
the
in
right lane
Chernobyl,
blocked off with
Ukraine.
police tending to
With
two
temp
disabled
foam,
tractor
cannabis
trailers
right
from the looks of it. They're on the right shoulder. I'm just trying to get a good view of this. And so the right lane,
don't know
right
what
shoulder
they do with
blocked,
that
northbound Don Valley Parkway at
specifically, but you
Millwood. So
can
approaching
use
Don
it
Mills is where this issue is. And northbound DVP is full from north of Bayview Bloor. Now, as for the southbound 404 Don Valley, that's still in good shape from the 401 down to the Gardner, and the Gardner Expressway itself is wide open both ways. East and westbound 401 across the GTA moving well. In Brampton, eastbound Queens are close from McBean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's all for a collision investigation. Now, with Pizza, get unlimited medium 2 topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Yep, get as many as you want for $7.99 each. Minimum 2, maximum unlimited. Now at Pizza. Your next report is at 2:51. Now with the forecast, meteorologist Carl Lamb.
Really uneventful today. We have some rain and wet snow falling across the region, mainly north of the city. We're dealing with a little bit of drizzle outside our studios and in downtown, but again, not too impressive today as temperatures head up to our guaranteed high of 2 degrees. Lots of this will wrap up by the late afternoon and early evening. We'll drop down to -2 tonight with mainly cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, it is another day that features a lot of clouds, but we will squeak out some sunshine as we head up to a high of +1 and a low of -4. And then as we head into Tuesday, overcast and +1, but we will have some snow showers, and there will be a trace of accumulation at best. But that's about it. It's not going to be a very active weather week across the GTA. Right now, 1 at Pearson, 1 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high is 2.
680 News Time, 2:43. Legendary talk show host Larry King has been hospitalized with COVID-19, and well wishes continue to pour in from friends and fans across the world. According to CNN, a source close to the family says King has been admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in LA for over a week now. King, who also suffers from type 2 diabetes, is considered high risk, which means his wife and sons are unable to visit him. Well wishes are pouring in from friends and fans across the world, including actor and activist George Takei, who took to Twitter to wish King a speedy recovery. The 87-year-old has previously survived cancer, a heart attack, and most recently a stroke in 2019. Meantime, 2 men being treated for injuries following a shooting near Markham Road in Lawrence in Scarborough. Police were called just before 7 last night after both men checked themselves into a local hospital. No update has been given on the severity of their injuries. Anyone with information being asked to contact police. Your headlines coming up in 1 minute.
680 News Time, 2:44.
Pay homage to India's rich cultural history with a culinary
Police
experience
will
from
interrogate you with a
Indian
bullet
Bistro,
in your
a family-owned and
eye
operated
for an hour and a
restaurant
half
located
looking for the
across
law.
from historic St. Lawrence Market.
Did you know there's like a bullet in your eye? It's like, yeah.
Your favorite Indian dishes. Order today and experience
We're all
why
police.
India Indian Bistro is a TripAdvisor Hall of Fame member.
Why everybody's
India
breaking
Indian
the law
Bistro,
right
the
now.
essence of India through fresh, quality ingredients. Get 10% off your takeout order today when you book through India.ca.
You'll hear it here.
Breaking news when it happens.
On 680 News. News 680 News. Be the first to know newsletter.
Brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers.
Subscribe now at 680news.com/newsletters.
And always be the first to know.
This is all News Radio. 680 News.
It is overcast, +1, feeling like -3. Good afternoon. I'm Kate Woodley.
And I'm Zach Bodenstein. Here are the top stories right now.
As COVID-19 cases surge in both Ontario and Toronto, we're anticipating more announcements about restrictions in the city this week. Ontario reporting 2,964 new infections today, 786 in Toronto.
A banner has appeared outside of Ron Phillips' office in Ajax, asking him to resign now following his pandemic trip to St. Bart's. Phillips stepped down from his post as finance minister on New Year's Eve because of the scandal, but remains an MPP. He's part of a long list of politicians whose vacations abroad
have angered Canadians.
No farmers,
not really.
no
You
food.
just got
That
some
message from around 100 demonstrators who gathered in Brampton in solidarity with Indian farmers. They're protesting a bill in that country.
Not
They
at
say
him, then you
will
find
hurt
out
farmers'
6 other
livelihoods.
fucking whatever.
These stories and more
One
at
from,
680news.com.
Quebec, one from Ontario, at least one from Ontario, 2 from
Now
Alberta.
time for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is Shelley.
Let's get right to the NFL scores as we usually do on Sundays. Lots of these games heading to the half. And let's begin with Bills Dolphins.
McKenzie backpedaling, fielded at the 16-yard line. Dodges 2 men. Starts up the middle at the 30, at the 40. Isaiah McKenzie on the run at midfield in Miami territory. Got to beat the punter. He gets around him. He's at the 20. He's at the 15, 10. 5. Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Buffalo!
John Murphy with the call
The
on the
roots
bend.
always keep
That was
growing up because when
McKenzie's
you water
third
it, the water
touchdown of
goes
the
down
day.
the center,
John
pushes
Brown
out to
also
the
catching a
sides,
touchdown to
you know,
put the
the
Bills
roots
up
always come up
28-6. Elsewhere, the Patriots and Jets are tied at 7 in Foxborough. Chris Herndon scoring for the Jets to tie the game there. Ravens are up 17-3 on the Bengals. Marquise Brown has the most recent score. That game is actually in the third quarter now. The Browns lead the Steelers 10-6. Nick Chubb scoring for Cleveland. Bit of a back and forth between the Vikings and Lions. Minnesota now on top 21-16. The Giants lead the Cowboys 20-6. Sterling Shepard has 2 touchdowns. Dante Pettis has one for New York as well. And the Bucs lead the Falcons 23-10. Mike Evans has not yet returned from a knee injury so far. And some scores from England's Premier League. Leicester City beat Newcastle 2-1, while Man City knocked off Chelsea 3-1. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
He's at least 7 years old.
Shorted out the furnace, the radiator too.
When stuff happens and you need money now, I mean right now, go to
Newer ones, they tried replacing them with
If
the
you need
Dollarama.
money
They
in a
open up
hurry,
on the side.
Financial.net.
Velcro.
Get money quick, just one
You don't
click.
need it to open up on the side.
Financial.net.
car or homeowners get approved in less than an hour. Or up to $75,000, even if you're self-employed or have no proof of income.
Financial.net.
Give your oven a break this year and cook all your holiday favorites on a Traeger wood pellet grill instead. Fueled by all-natural hardwood pellets, Traeger grills add incredible wood-fired
Why not
flavors to
softwood?
everything you
Why
cook.
hardwood?
Traeger's also boasts 6-in-1 versatility that lets you cook everything from roast turkey and grilled veggies to baked cookies and smoked eggnog. Plus, Wi-Fi technology lets you control your grill right from your phone.
That's
To
what
learn
makes me
more,
think
find a dealer near you. Visit TraegerGrills.ca/Canada dealers.
680 News Time, 2:48.
Tensions are rising as thousands of Iraqis commemorate the slaying of an Iranian military leader.
1 year today since the U.S. assassinated a top Iranian general in Iraq, and thousands of people have gathered in Baghdad's temple.
It's not IROQ, is
Five
it?
Iraqi nationals, including 2 militia leaders, were killed in the strike. Meanwhile,
It is.
Iran
Why
has
are you telling
announced
us
it plans
it's
to
Iraq,
enrich
though,
uranium up to 20%, far below the level needed to build a nuclear weapon, but far higher than was agreed in the 2015 nuclear deal that President
A
Trump
nuclear
pulled the
weapon?
U.S. out of.
Any uranium makes a
Julie
nuclear
News
weapon.
of the
You ever
Foreign
turn
Desk,
dirty
London.
bomb? That's not a fucking joke.
An indigenous filmmaker from the West Coast has passed
He's
away
a
at the age
filmmaker.
of 27.
Taryn Kujaneu, a Vancouver Indigenous filmmaker and actor, passed away on New Year's Eve. He's best known for his appearance in Bella Ciao and his comedy special White Noise. Taryn was named the 2018 Star to Watch
For
at
all
the
your,
Whistler Film
white
Festival,
people-friendly
but for
entertainment,
his sister Cheyenne
don't make
Kujaneu,
it.
he'll be best remembered for Happy Way of Life.
Make sure everyone is okay. Everyone's
These are actually in better
comfortable, no matter
condition than the other
where,
socks
you
I
know,
have. These look the same
He's
as
very
ones I'm
happy.
wearing.
He was always happy. He's always making jokes. You know, he's very funny. He's made memes.
Taryn was a member of the Sioux Nation. He was from Cold Lake, Alberta. I'm Kareem Gouda.
And there's sadness in a tight-knit northwestern Alberta community after a deadly helicopter crash.
4 members of the same family, 2 adults and 2 children under the age of 18.
My daddy
perished
knows
when
everything.
The chopper went
He's
down in
bigger
a
than
farmer's
God.
field in
Okay.
Spirit River New Year's Day evening.
Indians
Officers
told you
responding
not
to
to
an
fly
emergency
that day.
beacon found the wreckage with no survivors.
Our members attended, located the crash late in the farmer's field, and located the 4 individuals of the
And
helicopter.
decided we're going to do an investigation, even though it's not our purview.
RCMP Sergeant Sean French says, referring to COVID-19, it's been a tough year. One more tragedy heaped on
How
another.
do you know he was
The
referring to
helicopter
that?
was
Did he
privately
say
owned.
that?
The
Why don't
Transportation
you
Safety
just
Board
say
is trying
what
to
he
determine
said?
what went so wrong. Jerry Smith, the Canadian Press. This is 680 News.
Well, it's time to back up 2020 and send it on its way. Some say it can't happen soon enough. That's why your Ontario Subaru dealer is beginning the new year in the best way possible, a whole week early. Yay! So hurry to the Unboxing Week event and drive away in a brand new 2021 Subaru right now. Along with a special $500 bonus because gosh darn it, we all deserve it this year. The Unboxing Week event on now until January 4th. Happy New 2021 from Subaru.
Species on Earth. We've conquered fire, created powerful technologies, and yet we're still stuck paying for food delivery. Not anymore. With good food, you can get delicious ready-to-cook meals and grocery items like Good Food hummus, popcorn, and bacon delivered free right to your home. Good food, eating evolved. Visit makegoodfood.ca. With minimum purchase. Details on makegoodfood.ca.
Traffic and weather together on the one series. Christine Lango.
Thank you, Caitlin. I'm just looking at this issue still on the northbound.
Remember your
Parkway
drugs and
approaching
other
Dawn
barrier
Mills,
devices.
right around Millwood. That's where the right lane and shoulder are blocked. We have two tractor trailers. One is just the cab and one is a tractor trailer. And it's over on the right shoulder.
what's this?
And police have blocked off the right lane for safety. So again, that's
Two
northbound
slow
South Valley Parkway
breaths,
approaching
retail,
Dawn Mills.
and
The right
cheap
lane is
pop,
blocked
they are
and it's slow
choking.
from north of
100
Baby
beats a
Bluer.
minute
The
for
rest of the
charging.
major routes around the
Brain
GTA,
damage,
they're all
400.
looking good for the most part. Not
10
causing
minutes,
any other
biological
delays.
death,
In Brampton, eastbound Queen from
leading
McBean to
cause
Cherry
of
Crest
death
Drive
in
is closed because of a collision. And we
Cardiovascular,
have that protest at Highway 10 and Steel, so expect delays in that area as well, even if it's just because of a visual distraction. Your next report is at 3:01. Now with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of that snow weekend as it continues its trek further north. Some snow falling in various.
You can do CPR yourself.
Again, some spots.
Another said there was a thing that went around Facebook a couple years ago about punching yourself if you have a heart attack.
Here in downtown Toronto, some low clouds as well. Some of them have a little bit of moisture in them, bringing some light drizzle to the GTA. But other than that, really not much going on today. Temperatures headed to the near 2 degrees, down to -2
signs and
mainly
symptoms.
cloudy.
A,
And then for
allergies,
tomorrow,
M, medications,
the
P,
with
past
us, we
medical
will see
history,
some
L,
sun
last
during the day. +1 will be the high, -4 is the low. And then for Tuesday, +1 overcast. And we will have some snow showers.
Check
around.
vital signs, level of consciousness.
Really
Is
is
the
not
person
going
awake
to
or sleeping?
accumulate
Is the person
anything.
seem
You could have a
confused? Is the
trace.
person responsive?
Some areas could.
I asked them their name.
That is being highly ambitious in terms of the snowfall total, so we'll stick with the trace there. And then for Wednesday, 2 degrees, a mix of sun
No,
and
don't say that. Hey, what day
and
is it?
we'll see progressively
I
more
forget what the
amounts
third
of
thing I
sunshine
asked
as we head throughout the week, but
There's 3
it will
questions
get
I asked.
a little bit cooler as we head into the
Skin,
tail end
is
of
it
the
dry
week. Right now,
or
it's one
wet?
at Pearson,
Is it
one
an
at
unusual
City
color
News.
or temperature? An unusual color. Yeah, that's
forecast is brought to you by
breathing. Listen for sounds. Is the breathing fast or slow, shallow or deep? Is breathing painful for the person?
Learn more about the value of advice at dynamic.ca.
So I must have brought this in and set it down.
Always be the first to know. The new 680 News, be the first to know newsletter. Brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers.
The current top 5 stories.
Plus weather and your favorite contests like the 680 News Weather Guarantee.
Twice daily.
Subscribe now at 680news.com/newsletters.
And always be the first to know. We work for you.
From talking to the newsmakers
To getting the answers to what you need to know about COVID-19.
and answers about your job and finances.
If you
Blistering
have a
indictment
question,
of
ask
Canada's
it
tax
at
system and the people who shape it.
citydnews.com/answers.
680 News.
Whether you agree with McQuaid, and many business people will find her ideas repugnant, you cannot ignore her. The Financial Post.
680 News Time,
Conrad
254.
Black's newspaper. He's a member of a
writer
prison
and
gang.
advocate who has spent
We
more
know
than 2
because there's
decades
photos of him
recording,
walking around with the
interpreting,
one
and
tent they
preserving
rolled
the
up in
histories
jail.
and landscapes
You think
of
I'm joking? You
Vancouver.
think those country
John
club
Andrews
jails are not
speaking with
jails?
Michael Kleppner, who's back with a new book entitled Hearing
Exactly the
God.
same as any
Hearing
other
God
jail.
started out as a quick
Controlled
collection of
environment.
watercolors and
COs are the
essays
same
meant
that
to
work on these
coincide with a
facilities.
gallery show
Controlled
Kleppner had
environment.
planned for this coming spring.
Oh, look, we got the flag with a sickle and a hammer. We got some guy who looks like a white guy holding a.
Title looks at how rampant development is chipping away at the character of our city.
It looks like a bad knockoff of an AK
These upcoming landscapes, they are being erased and then they're being replaced generally
Michael
by
Killian,
a much
full-scale
more
civil war threatens the very
Hearing God
existence
is
of
Kleppner's first collection of
Canada.
paintings in 9 years.
The consequences could be disastrous to American interests to Britain, France, and the USSR. Britain, comma, France, and the USSR, period. No, there's only one period. USSR.
Being a new mom isn't
Now, see, that's the problem with using your conventions. They're not up to date. On the eve of a new constitutional convention, Canada's fate lies in the hands of an unlikely group.
And baby D drops are
Dennis Tobias Showers, see a Jamaican, master diplomat, an ex-alcoholic, soon to be deputy chief of mission at the U.S. Embassy in Ottawa. What? Felicity Stewart, his first love, whose memory continues to haunt Showers, and who returns from the past with a desperate plea for help. Harry York, Prime Minister of Canada, who puts his life on the line to hold his country together. Harry York. Is that like Muddy York? Papineau. This is F-I-L-S. It's sons. Papineau Fee, a terrorist group, comma, A. Okay, so it's French. Papineau Fee, F-I-L-S, a terrorist group laboring to blow the whole works sky high, period. The others were all saying it.
It's been around since 2000.
Ranking with the best of suspense fiction, Northern Exposure's chillingly plausible scenario will grip the reader from first page to last. Now, Northern Exposure in this sentence is all capitals, all capitalized, but the title is not.
$68, just below 150.
Printed it in Canada.
In Canada, Airbnb actually asked for a bailout. Instead, it got a new federal tax. Now, regulations have also changed, and there's a good chance those changes could spread further across the country. Torben Weiditz is the director of Airbnb.
I Dreamed That I Was Old is from the poems of Stanley Kunitz, 1928 to 1978. Copyright 1930 by Stanley Kunitz, by permission of Little Brown and Company in association with the Atlantic Monthly Press. 83. It's 53 years from when it was copyrighted, but it's only 5 years from his death if it's 28 to 78 years
Across the country. And I know you're not against Airbnb in general, just the idea of so-called ghost hotels. So is it safe to say the pandemic has helped shift the landscape?
At the end of the day, housing stock has been planned, built, designed, approved, and housing stock.
You know what flag doesn't appear? I see the Union Jack, the Stars and Bars, and whatever this is. Is that that's
those that have never been zoned, planned,
1983? I'd have to look it up. That's used to be the Kremlin. Is that the Kremlin? Or the Taj
a
Mahal?
lot of people to systematically turn residential housing stock into ghost hotels.
You didn't recognize it at Parliament Hill, Ottawa.
At least temporarily.
Torben Weiditz is the director of Fair B&B.
I don't remember
And
everything
at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
The holiday season always read this book about Brian Mulroney and Get Angry,
And it starts now.
It is filled with solid reporting and excellent analysis because it's a story that is enough to make you read
sports and beauty products. Save on Data Pizza. Your choice, any kind. Now 3 for just $15. Plus, pick up AOR QQ and Ultra 60 SG. Now just
a lot of those are all one plus.
Visit one of Healthy Planet's 29 Canadian family-owned locations near you. Or healthyplanetcanada.com.
Our local spot. He was there when we needed it most. The perfect gift. They had it. The perfect haircut. They trimmed it. They saved us a seat, a headache, and when we forgot an anniversary, they even saved our beer ends. Our local
All this internet shit goes down.
little emergencies, even when they didn't feel so little. And now that they're the ones paying,
That's why I don't read them all right away.
to be there for them. So shop safely and show your love for local. Ontario, yours to rediscover.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
Walmart is the #1 place to save money on groceries. Save $1 on a Michelina's frozen entree. Now only 88 cents. Walmart. Save money, live better.
Doesn't that have a different name?
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is +1. Less rain, snow mix falling in parts of the city. At Pearson Airport, it's overcast and +1. 680 News Time, 3 o'clock.
Hold on for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News. Toronto.
Sunday, January 3rd. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bodenstein.
And I'm Caitlin Lane. Here's what's making news this hour.
New COVID-19 measures for businesses and workplaces will be announced in Toronto tomorrow as the province logs nearly 3,000 new cases of the virus.
The UK now receiving batches of the AstraZeneca vaccine. That vaccine now approved in India. More on your COVID-19 international developments ahead.
Protesters against new farming legislation in India have gathered in Brampton, the 6th weekend of these demonstrations across the GTA.
A sign reads, "Resign now," outside of Rod Phillips' MVP office in Ajax as backlash continues following his trip to St. Bart's.
Training camp rosters are released around the NHL, and Week 17 in the NFL is underway. 7 1 o'clock games on the go. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, we're looking at the value of having a financial planner, someone to guide not just investments, but also the times when life doesn't go as expected.
301.
Let's check the drive now. Here's Christine Langos.
Thank you, Zach. And I'm looking at one problem on the major routes right now. It's on the northbound Don Valley Parkway approaching Don Mills at Millwood, to be specific. The right shoulder is blocked with a couple of disabled vehicles, and we have police on scene there blocking off the right lane. So you'll find us slowed down northbound on the Don Valley Parkway from north of Bayview Boulevard to approaching Don Mills. Again, the right lane is blocked here. But other than that, no other troubles on the rest of the major routes around the GTA. So the 401 is looking good. No problems on the 404 or the 400. The Gardner-Queenie combination in excellent shape if you're traveling east or westbound on those routes. And Brampton eastbound Queens still closed McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's because of a collision investigation. Your next report is at 311. And now with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Well, it's quiet in the downtown core, just overcast. It's a really thick deck of cloud cover we're dealing with today, but other than that, that snow that has been impacting areas north of the city, a lot of it has started to ease off as well. So temperatures tonight will retreat down to -2 with mostly cloudy skies. And then as we head into tomorrow, temperatures head back up to +1, and we will have more clouds than sun. But again, it's not going to be all that cold because we will have light winds tonight and into tomorrow as well. Right now, 1 at Pearson, 1 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high today is 2.
680 News Time, 302.
Tomorrow marks back to work for many across Ontario. And it also means new restrictions for Toronto's city health officials, expected to announce those details at their scheduled briefing.
The province reporting just under 3,000 cases of COVID-19 today. 680's Stuart McGinn reports.
The lockdown may still be in effect and have a ways to go, but much of Toronto gets back to work and routine after the holiday break as this cloud hangs overhead.
Toronto Public Health will announce additional actions meant to reduce risk associated with COVID-19 in workplaces.
That hint coming days ago from Dr. Eileen Davila. She only added the measures will focus on creating as much space and distance as possible. The announcement and details on this coming tomorrow. But so far, Davila's warnings of higher case counts following the holidays is what we're seeing. The province reporting 2,964 cases, a leading 786 in Toronto, along with 25 new deaths province-wide. Along with this announcement from city officials on the way, 2 other measures are also set to come into effect tomorrow. One giving essential workers free childcare once again. The other starting the city's free lunch program for students, despite the fact that they aren't back in the classroom just yet.
Like, I don't understand how these
680
things
News
are just
Time,
coming back.
304. Breaking news from Peel Region, where a man's in hospital with life-threatening condition after a collision. Peel Regional Police Constable Heather Cannon says the call came in just before 1 this afternoon.
We were called to the intersection of Queen Street East and Cherry Crest Drive in Brampton for a 2-vehicle collision. The collision involved a transport truck and a pickup truck.
The driver of the pickup truck was taken to a trauma center in critical condition. The other driver remained on scene. Right now, Queen Street East is closed between McVean and Cherry Crest Drive. Police remain on scene for the investigation. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story.
The backlash against former Finance Minister Rod Phillips continues with a sign hanging on his constituency office that says, "Resign now." He traveled to the Caribbean over the holidays despite public health urging everyone not to travel. Phillips released several tweets over the holidays in which he appeared to be at home. Upon his return to the country, he resigned from his cabinet position, but not as the MPP for Ajax. It's currently unknown who placed the banner there. Phillips' office has not commented.
More people around the globe are rolling up their sleeves for the COVID-19 vaccine with the latest international developments. Here's 680's Michael Ranger. Hospitals in the United Kingdom have now started to receive batches of the recently authorized AstraZeneca vaccine. Over 500,000 doses are expected to be available when the country's vaccine rollout begins on Monday. Nursing home residents and workers, hospital staff, and anyone over the age of 80 have been given priority for the first shots. This comes as the UK records a 5th straight day of record coronavirus cases. The AstraZeneca vaccine has now been approved in India, along with a vaccine manufactured by Indian drug maker Bharat Biotech. The authorization of 2 COVID-19 vaccines in the world's second largest nation is the first step in a massive inoculation program. Looking stateside, Governor Andrew Cuomo saying New York State has now recorded 1 million cases since the onset of the pandemic. Mayor Bill de Blasio recently setting a lofty vaccination goal for New York City.
1 million people we will reach in January. This city can do it.
I'm Michael Ranger.
680 News Time, 3:06. The death toll from COVID-19 in the U.S. has surpassed 350,000. Experts anticipating another surge in cases stemming from holiday gatherings.
Multiple states have reported a record number of cases over the past few days, including North Carolina and Arizona. In hard-hit California, funeral homes are turning families away because they have no more room for bodies. And Florida is reporting its first case of the new, more contagious strain of the coronavirus.
Yeah, that's a call to action.
Meanwhile, the vaccine
You go
rollout
deal with the
continues
people
to
in the
face
nursing
challenges.
homes.
The
Someone has
CDC
to
says
deal with
over
the
4
bodies.
million people received the first dose
I
of
can
COVID
drive the truck.
vaccine,
I
with
can hook
13
up the
million
trailer.
doses
I know where the
distributed.
ferry needs
But
to
that's
go,
far
whether the
short of
weather's good
Operation
enough or
Warp
not,
Speed's goal.
for it to go
I'm
out
Julie
past
Walker.
the islands.
680 News Time,
Go
3:07.
1.6 kilometers past the islands.
Happening now in Brampton.
That's where the intake pipe for the water for the city stops. You go 5 kilometers, you'll be fine. Because everything's going to flow downstream.
Livelihood. 680's Michelle Mackey is at here, Ontario and Steeles, and she joins us live with the latest. Michelle.
Zach, lots of honking in support of the dozens of protesters bearing the cold in support of Indian farmers. The Indian government recently passed legislation abolishing the minimum guaranteed price for grain from the government, opening up sales directly to private corporations.
It's basically a debt sentence for working with farmers who already cannot service their debt because they're so poor.
The protest organizer Sam Gill says they'll keep protesting until the Indian government changes the law and hopes more Canadians will join their cause.
So we are asking all the Canadians to pressurize our government, which is my message of Trippz, the leaders of the opposition party, your local MPPs, MLAs, and pressurize them so that they voice their opinion against the Indian government.
Protesters also hope these demonstrations will inspire people to support local farmers here in Canada as well. Live in Brampton, I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 3:08. It's early on in winter, but it sure doesn't look like it. There's barely any snow on the ground in the city, and at 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb tells us, well, this isn't a typical winter. It's becoming the norm for the GTA.
Aside from that New Year's Day blast of snow and freezing rain and ice pellets, we are going to be dealing with rather calm conditions across the GTA with temperatures running slightly above average. And for the past 2 years, that has been the trend as well, where temperatures have been a little bit above average to start the month. And then once we get into the middle of the month, that's when the weather systems start to pick up.
Today's guaranteed high is +2.
Reaction is pouring in following news that Larry King, one of the most famous American journalists of the 20th century, is fighting COVID-19. CNN says an unidentified person close to the family revealed the 87-year-old is undergoing treatment at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Fans and friends of King have taken to Twitter to send well wishes, including famous wrestler The Iron Sheik, who tweeted, "Larry King Bubba, get well soon. You survived the 7 marriages and you will beat the jabroni COVID," end quote. King suffered a stroke last year and throughout his life has recovered from heart attacks as well as lung cancer. And also last year, 2 of his children died, a son and a daughter, from a heart attack and lung cancer, respectively. Gas prices are next.
Really? Doesn't that sound odd?
Coronavirus updates and breaking news.
All
on the Be the First to Know newsletter. Sign up now at 680news.com/newsletters.
How can you do your part to keep Toronto sidewalks clear of ice and snow this winter? Easy. Make sure to shovel the area in front of your home or business within 12 hours of a snowfall. And clear enough space for people to visit business. And make sure you don't throw snow on the roads. And finally, treat yourself to a nice warm cup of cocoa. That last one's optional.
Because we're all family hanging out.
But I highly recommend it. Get to know the plan for snow at toronto.ca/snow.
And now the 680.
I came up with a solution where I could still breathe in kids' faces and give them candy to track them to my house.
At most GTA stations. We'll check
every
traffic
time
and
they
weather
put a
in 60
pedophile on the
seconds.
news.
This is
And they
680
figure it
years.
out
John
after
McGilvery
the
here.
fact.
I've done hundreds of home renovations over the years, and I'm particularly careful about what I put under the floors. On my
I don't
projects, I
think
use
they would
DMX
do
One
this or
Step
that.
2.0. This easy-to-install underlayment has an air gap design that allows moisture to evaporate, and it doesn't require wood subfloors, which can be a food source for mold growth. DMX One Step can be used under most vinyl or laminate floors. So whatever you choose, you know
What
your
does
investment will be
DMX stand
protected.
for here?
DMX
Because
One
the
Step
rapper
2.0.
stands for
No
Dog
mold,
Man
no cold.
X.
Find it at the Home Depot.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's something you hear a lot this time of year. Making space in your life is what a new year is for. Get a fresh start in your home and your life with Access Storage. With a safe place to store the belongings you love but don't have space for. Access Storage can be your resolution solution with flexible and affordable storage options and more than 100 convenient locations in Ontario. Get on with your new year. Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit accessstorage.ca.
680 News Time, 3:11.
Time for traffic and weather together. Let's check the drive. Here's Christine Langos.
Thank you, Zach. And it's not a bad one. Those problems we had northbound Don Valley Parkway approaching Don Mills at Millwood cleared away. All lanes have been reopened. It's still a bit busy from north of Bayview Bloor to approaching Don Mills, but that volume is starting to ease off rapidly. We've no other delays or problems on the major routes around the GTA. The 401 looking good. No problems on the Gardner-Queenie combination. And Brampton eastbound Queen still closed from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's for an ongoing collision investigation. And we have a bit of construction affecting east and westbound Queen between Church and Jervis. That's where the right lane is closed each way. Your next report is at 3:21. Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Wow, it's really quiet out on the roads, really quiet in the weather department. And now that we're just dealing with a little bit of mist across the GTA and that snow, it's still impacting Barrie with just a little bit of light snow shower activity. But anything that's been, you know, from Innisfil down towards areas like King City, that has really lightened up significantly. So this will be the end of that. And so we'll just have some of this light, very, very light precipitation tonight. That drizzle, that mist, call it what you will. Tonight, and temperatures will drop down to -2, and then tomorrow we head up to +1. We will have more clouds than sun, but we will have light winds, so we'll take it. It's not going to be too terrible of a day. And then we drop down to -4 tomorrow evening as we head into Tuesday. We will have overcast conditions, some snow showers. It will not accumulate. We're talking about a trace of accumulation at best, and we'll have a high of +1. Right now, it is +1 at Pearson, +1 downtown, and our guaranteed high is 2.
680 News Time, 3:13.
Around a dozen North Carolinians gathered in Raleigh to remember those that have been lost from COVID-19. They are expressing frustration at the lack of support from the state as cases in that state continue to rise. ABC reporter Samantha Kummerer has more on the state's rising numbers.
The latest case count is higher than the last record by more than 1,000 people. The other metrics also trending in the wrong direction. At 15.5% of 6% of positive tests, it's the highest yet. More than 3,400 people remain hospitalized for the virus, a 10% increase since last Saturday. And the most sobering statistic, 144 new COVID-19 related deaths reported in the last 2 days.
That brings the total number of deaths from the virus in North Carolina to nearly 6,900. We'll recap your top stories next.
This is 680 News.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology identifies the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. Monica did, and that's how she found Lamont, her new project superintendent.
The job is so perfect for me. I had a career breakthrough. I would have never found this job if
if it wasn't for ZipRecruiter.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists. With ZipRecruiter, we get hiring results.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter is
Eradication of cockroaches
and now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada.
Apartments that are not up to a satisfactory standard of cleanliness will be served
All
to
News Radio.
Overcast
and +1 in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bowman.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories.
It's not dirt that attracts cockroaches. They're very clean, like rats. It's not food either. They can go a month without food, 30 days. They can only go 10 days without water. You know what this building's full of? Water leaks, drips everywhere, condensation.
In Toronto.
A banner has appeared outside of Ron Phillips' office in Ajax, asking him to resign
I say money's
now.
stupid. This
Following
is
his
considered a
pandemic
proper
trip to
motive.
St.
Dear
Bart's,
tenant.
Phillips stepped down from his post as finance minister New Year's Eve.
Hey, it's my
Scandal
internet.
remains at MPP. He's part of a long list of politicians whose vacations abroad have angered Canadians.
No farmers, no food. That message from around 100 demonstrators who have gathered in Brampton in solidarity with Indian farmers. They're protesting a bill in that country they say will hurt farmers' livelihoods.
For these stories and more, head to
4 for $2, Your Honor.
Now 680 Sports from
The only thing is, how do you open this package?
Let's get right to the scoreboard for Week 17, and let's begin with Bills Dolphins.
Yes,
where
I
Isaiah
found a
McKenzie has
steak
3
knife
touchdowns
today
so far.
on the
John
ground.
Brown also catching a touchdown, with the Bills up 35-13. Tua Tagovailoa just got pick 6 as well. Matt Barkley is in to start the second half. You can listen to that game on the Fan with John Murphy and Steve Tasker. Elsewhere, the Jets lead 14-7 over the Patriots in Foxborough. Chris Herndon and Josh Adams scoring for New York. Ravens are up 31-3 on the Bengals. Lamar Jackson has 3 TD passes and just under 100 yards rushing as well. The Browns lead the Steelers 17-9. Austin Hooper catching a 2-yard TD pass from Baker Mayfield. Minnesota and Detroit keep going back and forth. Vikings lead 31-23 there. Justin Jefferson has also surpassed Randy Moss's rookie record for receiving yards in a season in that game. Giants lead the Cowboys 20-9, though TD is under review for the Cowboys right now, which would make it 20-16. And the Bucs lead the Falcons 23-17. Russell Gage has a TD catch most recently there. And training camps are open across the NHL. The Leafs put out their 40-man roster for camp. It looks like the team is speaking to the media right now. Kyle Dubas saying that all 40 members of the team have passed their physicals and are good to go. We will get to the rest of this on the next go-around. Sports at 15-45, past every hour, anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time 317.
At jackpotcity.net, you can do amazing things with just one casino chip. Discover a world of incredible casino games with over 500 high-quality online slot games, including the world-renowned progressive jackpot slot, Mega Moolah. Play for free at jackpotcity.net and get treated as a VIP 24/7. So visit jackpotcity.net today on your tablet, laptop, or mobile. Jackpot City, a whole world of casino games. 18 plus. Please play responsibly. This is not a gambling website.
Pay homage to India's rich cultural history with a culinary experience from India Indian Bistro, a family-owned and operated restaurant located across from historic St. Lawrence Market. India sources the freshest cuts of meat from their butchers
I know that's
to
not
create
technically
your
sealed.
favorite Indian dishes. Order today and experience why India Indian Bistro is a TripAdvisor Hall of Fame member. India Indian Bistro, the essence of India through fresh, quality ingredients. Get 10% off your takeout order today when you book through India.ca.
680 News Time 318. Residents of Greater Sydney in Australia are being warned to observe new pandemic rules making mask wearing compulsory. New South Wales Health Minister Brad Hazard says
I'll do light bulbs for the lamp. I was looking for somewhere I can put the lamp.
If you don't have a good excuse, will you be fined? We understand that there are people who, for example, may have been ill at home and have not been out yet to buy a mask. And they're on their way to, for example, a pharmacy or a shop to buy a mask. Those are issues which our very good New South Wales police members will take into account
Yeah, because they're out of control now.
Restrictions to prevent the spread of COVID-19 from new outbreaks in Victoria and New South Wales.
New South Wales. Oh, I'm thinking South Wales. New South Wales.
Celebrating a special birthday today.
How about the New Mexican
You have
whale?
stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
Climate activist Greta Thunberg turns
Oh,
18
shut
today. It's hard to believe that the Stockholm native has only just become an adult, with her activism against climate
She's not a
change taking the
native.
world by
An
storm
adult.
over the
She's
past
been
2
allowed to
years.
smoke cigarettes here for 2 years
Campaign where she
and
skipped
have
school and
sex
traveled
with
to
more
climate change. She gained the attention and support of people around the world, including
Oh,
but not limited to
she's
stars
now-
like Jane
she's in a
Fonda,
position to
Ellen
trust.
DeGeneres, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Leonardo
She could get in
DiCaprio.
trouble if her
On
boyfriend's only
Demand
16 or
Taking some
17.
time, but a structure that housed a former Indigenous residential school in a small business in BC is now slated to be torn down this year.
The building in the Indigenous village of Lower Post near the BC-Yukon boundary was closed 45 years ago. BC Premier John Horgan
Yeah,
says
but
he
you lie
toured
about that all the
site more
time.
than a
The
year
last
ago and
residential
learned
school was
through
closed in
elders the abuse that
1998.
went
I
on at the
remember
school.
because it was
He says he's
1998
working
when
with
they
others
closed
to
it. I
tear
watched it
down
on the
the
fucking
building
news.
Its place
Oh, sorry,
will be new
1996.
administration office. Rob Westgate, the Canadian Press.
1998. Y'all keep saying
Head over to the
1996.
traffic
See,
center with
I'm
Christine
confused
Lego,
because
then
you
get
feel
our
like
extended
they
forecast
closed it
from
in
Carl
98.
Lamb,
You all
680
keep
News
swearing
Time
it closed in
320.
96. The last one closed in 96.
Fighting cancer
Okay,
and your
closed in
disability
98.
insurer? Well, that's just inexcusable. My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability
This had to
claim
be
has been
in a
denied for any
store,
reason,
a range
call
of
me at
trouble.
416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my team of lawyers only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions.
5,000 hour ones
416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
There's still time to go extra round. 2001 Audio Video's biggest and best
How many
Boxing Week
throwing
sale.
salt and snow every fucking winter, every day?
Price ever.
Oh, it doesn't work. So
And audio products to 4K smart TVs with 2-year warranty.
See the big piles of salt, you're walking past the sidewalk, kick them towards the ice.
Lowest Boxing Week price.
They bounce out of the hopper.
Curbside pickup.
It's like a snow cloud. It's like 2.5 feet wide. It's the width of the snow. So it gets on the fucking sidewalk.
680 News Time 321. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Lango.
And this report is brought to you by Uptown Wireless. You're in for a great drive if you're just heading out for some essential travel right now. If you're heading to or from work, that's another possibility. Northbound Don Lake Parkway approaching Don Mills. Problems have been cleared away. All lanes have been reopened. And we're still in great shape on the 401 across the GTA. We haven't had any problems all afternoon. On the Gardner Expressway traveling into and out of downtown, everything looks good. We had earlier problems with a sinkhole or a pothole on the westbound Gardner west of the DVP, but they quickly repaired that. And trouble-free on the QEW through Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington. Well, we do have a collision investigation in Brampton, eastbound Queen, close from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing
Rogers
holes this
wrapped in red
fucking wide
event.
that goes
Get a
straight
free
through that
sense on
road.
Galaxy Tab A on
And it
select
took
2-year
them like
plans.
a year
Visit
to
Rogers
fix
at
that.
Centerpoint Mall or uptownwireless.ca for details. Your next report is at 3:31. Now with the forecast, meteorologist Carl Lamb.
Thanks, Christine. And on this Sunday afternoon, not much going on. Just a little bit of mist falling outside in downtown Toronto, and not much in terms of any
Say
precipitation
nothing,
out
do it.
towards
You can confuse
Mississauga or
everybody.
Milton. Not much going on in Markham at this point. Ajax looking okay, but in terms of any snowfall we're seeing, that's up towards Barrie. That band that lifted north has weakened quite a bit. So temperatures tonight will drop down to -2 with mainly cloudy conditions. And then tomorrow, +1 will be the high. More clouds and sun, but light winds. So should be a comfortable day. Tuesday, it is going to be a mainly cloudy day. We will have the chance for some snow showers. We're expecting maybe a trace of accumulation at best. And then as we head into Wednesday, then we start to see some more sunshine, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 2 degrees on Wednesday. We'll get colder as the week goes on, but there will be more sunshine. So a bit of a trade-off there as well. Right now it's 1 at Pearson, 2 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high today is 2.
Well, It's time to pack up 2020 and send it on its way. Some say it can't happen soon enough. That's why your Ontario Subaru dealer is beginning the new year in the best way possible. A whole week early. Yay! So hurry to the Unboxing Week event and drive away in a brand new 2021 Subaru right now. Along with a special $500 bonus because gosh darn it, we all deserve it this year. The Unboxing Week event on now until January 4th. Happy New 2021 from Subaru.
Coming up at 3:30, we'll have more on new restrictions being introduced in the city of Toronto. Health officials will announce them at their briefing tomorrow.
We work for you.
From talking to the newsmakers,
To getting the answers to what you need to know about COVID-19.
and answers about your job and finances.
If you have a question, ask it at 680news.com/answers.
680 News.
This was in a fucking range.
We're in this together.
Must have faced this way. It's covered bacon grease.
Some good news for fans of the Foo Fighters. They've got some new music.
No son of mine will ever do.
That song, No Son of Mine, is the latest single from their upcoming album, Medicine at Midnight. In an interview with Pitchfork, the band's lead singer David Grohl compared this album to David Bowie's Let's Dance, saying it's got groove, man. It's their 10th album, which was delayed because of the pandemic, and it comes out on February 5th. In 60 seconds, we'll head to the business center and get an update from Mike Epple. 680 News Time, 325.
You need a loan, but you don't want to go to the bank. So let the bank put in a low rate that's not.
These don't sound dangerous. No, I'm not.
H. Williams gives you money and locks them in their vault. Pay your loan back, get your stuff
Well, if
back.
you're so smart, how come I know when you're watching
For over
live?
70 years. Go see them in their safe environment. H. Williams Pawnbrokers. Look for the big
That
red
would be on
pawnbroker
you, not
sign.
me. I promoted it back in
2000,
2003.
Your world is always changing.
But just remember all the web.com.
Sign up to the new 680 News. Be the first to know newsletter. Brought to you by Diamonds and Diamonds Lawyers.
The current top 5 stories, the latest weather forecasting delivered to your inbox twice daily.
Subscribe now and always be the first to know.
680news.com/newsletters.
680 News Time, 326, and now the business report.
I'm Mike Epple. This has been a year of massive upheaval for the economy, jobs, the financial markets. It just goes on. And sometimes it's overwhelming. But that's when some outside assistance to help guide you through the volatility could take the stress down a notch. Jacqueline Porter is a certified financial planner who says knowledge is power when it comes to riding out the waves of market emotion.
Because we don't learn about finances in school, at least certainly when potentially you and I were in school, I think, there's that lack of financial confidence that's out there in the community.
Hey, kids in school don't know where money comes from. They don't understand what the budget process is. No, I know. None of you adults know. How about, oh, you're not on my insurance. I can't let you drive. It doesn't matter if he lives with me because he doesn't drive. Oh, I need your insurance to get the money back from your insurance to my insurance. Nope. None of that's true. None of that's true.
The top 3 financial risks people tend to face isn't typically the market.
Oh, the police can ask you all the questions they want. Yeah, and I can refuse to answer them. They got mad. When I was in grade 4, the teachers told us that. The fucking cops were so pissed off. Because we told every fucking kid we knew and so on and so
attention to how much money is coming in rather than how much is going out.
We want to talk to you. So talk. Yeah, but we want to talk to you. So I don't have to fucking listen. He's not. Are you gonna let me pay? You're not letting me pay. Really? You're trying to suck my dick? No, I'll never let you pay. Fucking pedophile.
Online shopping and
this last time I got arrested is the only time in my life I didn't get strip searched.
People are buying online food to the tune of $1,600 a month.
Which is odd, because none of my other charges ever involved weapons. This one is 2 different people saying I assaulted and threatened them. Oh, you don't have weapons. We're not searching you. Because if you go to the south, you end up going through an x-ray machine and then sitting on a magnet metal detector.
Prudent Financial has been there
There's literally no reason,
1984.
If you need money
none
in a hurry,
whatsoever, to strip search the person. Yeah, last time they strip searched me in the fucking carport with 6 fucking cops and 3 cameras.
If you own your car,
They're trying to pretend that they lost my fucking
up to
shit.
$75,000 in less than an hour.
Well, we threw up your money and your jewelry. Threw up money and jewelry and keys. Really?
Have to accept a temporary layoff.
Can I bring people back
No,
part-time?
you are dead. That's why you haven't been seen in this division since then,
The
have you?
pandemic. You're not the only one. My name is Stuart Rudner.
My
And
homeboys
whether you
bang
are
on
an
people
employer
bigger than
or an
us.
employee, the team at Rudner Law will help you
Independent
protect your
soldiers.
rights in these challenging times.
You
If
know what
think you
18th
might
Street
need an
does? They
employment lawyer,
regulate
you
the
probably
neighborhood.
do.
They're
HR
independent
lawyers,
police.
employment
Trippz
lawyers,
do the same
workplace
thing.
lawyers.
I think Buds
Whatever you
didn't
call
realize
them,
it, because they're
you'll
like
be
a
glad you did.
militant group.
RudnerLaw.ca.
Our meteorologist
Although I guess it
Carl
depends on
Lamb's
circumstances
forecast
and
some
decade.
spring-like conditions ahead this evening, though we'll have some snow in 2 degrees, but the snow tapers off overnight, mostly cloudy and -2. Tomorrow morning, it'll be mostly cloudy and -1. The high 2 degrees tomorrow afternoon, cloudy with some sun peeking through. Right now, downtown Toronto, it's overcast and 1, feels like -2. 680 news time, 3:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good afternoon. It's Sunday, January 3rd. I'm Kate Lumley.
And I'm Zach Bodenstein. Good afternoon. Here's what's making news right now.
Including distance and overall safety, the focus of new COVID-19 measures to be announced by city officials Monday as the post-holiday provincial case count remains steadily higher.
India approving 2 COVID-19 vaccines while the UK sees record daily cases for the 5th straight day. More on your international developments ahead.
A man is fighting for his life after a car crash in Brampton.
No farmers, no food. The message from protesters in Brampton against new legislation in India they say will exploit millions of farmers.
Premier League scores from England, 2 games in the books, 1 game on the go right now, and 7 games on the go in the NFL in Week 17 action.
Really? That
Sports at
makes
45.
sense. Let's run all 7 games at once, and they complain that nobody watched all 7. Are you stupid?
In the automotive industry.
These are the same idiots that talk when they're paid to play a game. Hey, don't talk, dumbass.
Here's
You're the reason we stopped
I'm just
watching.
looking at the southbound Don Valley Parkway through Lawrence. There's a bit of volume on the southbound
I
side,
do want-
but
well,
northbound
play,
Don Valley
good
Parkway
game,
still in
better,
great shape
play.
from the Gardner as you make your way up to the 401. The 401 itself is moving well across the GTA through Scarborough into the Durham region. All lanes are wide open through Milton and Mississauga, no troubles. You'll also find it a very smooth drive on the Huey-Gardner combination. As you've been hearing in Brampton, we have a collision investigation taking place, so eastbound Queen is closed from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive. Your next report is at 3:41, and now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
A lot of that precipitation has tapered off across the GTA. Just a little bit of mist downtown, but not anything steady or significant. And some of that snow and berry tapering off as well. So we are going to deal with cloudy conditions this afternoon, evening, and overnight. We drop down to -2. Tomorrow, it is a cloudy day overall. There will be some breaks in the cloud cover for a little bit of sun as well, and it will not be very windy. So +1 tomorrow does not feel all that cold, and we drop down to -4 on Monday night. Right now, it is 1 at Pearson, 2 degrees at 680 News. Our guaranteed high is 2.
680 news time, 3:32.
Torontonians anticipating new announcements this week, including maybe some new restrictions as COVID-19 cases continue to surge in both the city and the province.
680 Stuart McGinn has more, including today's case counts.
Measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19 aimed at businesses and workplaces. It's the gist and really all we know about the announcement that city officials confirm will take place tomorrow. First hinted at days ago by Dr. Eileen Davila.
These steps by Toronto Public Health are meant to create as much distance and safety as possible, while respecting many people need to work and many businesses are rightly permitted to continue operations.
Beyond that explanation, we don't know how these new measures will affect businesses.
Hey,
Many
you
of
don't
which
like
in
what I'm saying
Toronto have
about
been
you?
closed in the
Guess
city's
what?
time in
That's supposed to
lockdown,
be
which is
irrelevant
6
to your
weeks as of
business.
Monday. Along with this announcement are 2 other measures coming into effect, giving students in need free lunches despite the fact that schools are still closed, and allowing
Despite
essential
the
workers
fact,
to receive
yeah,
free
because
childcare
they're not
again.
gonna
All
plan
this as
it
the
in
province
advance.
reports
Why
25 new
would you plan in
COVID-19 related
advance?
deaths
And just under 3,000 infections, leaving the number of active cases under 24,000. I'm Stuart McGinn.
Why would you play him that in your game?
Breaking news from Brampton, where a man is fighting for his life after a car crash. Peel Regional Police say it happened around 1 o'clock near Queen Street East and Cherry Crest Drive. A pickup truck and a transport truck collided. The pickup truck driver taken to a trauma center with life-threatening injuries. Of Peel Police
now that it doesn't fucking matter,
most of the afternoon.
There's all the restaurants around the schools.
Street East,
Yeah,
and that's
here you
going
go,
to be
little
in
bastard.
between McVean and Cherry Crest Drive. That whole
You
section
say money's
of
dirty
Street
when it's
East
not.
is going to remain closed.
You want your kids going every day with $3
on scene,
and
rather,
change
the
and
state
get
with
some
680
piece
News
of
for more on
crap.
this developing story.
680
You're
News
supposed
time
to somehow learn about
3:34 as
commerce
Rob
that
Phillips
way.
resigned from his
You got
cabinet
schools
position.
called
The
commerce,
backlash
Eastern
against him
commerce.
still continues.
They don't
at
teach
his
anything
office
to
at
do with
Ajax.
money.
A banner has
Nothing.
been taped near the front door saying,
Not one of the
"Resign
kids
now."
comes out of there if you
Former
count
minister
the stand
traveled
without their
to
hands.
the Caribbean,
No
St.
offense.
Bart's over the holidays,
There's
returning
four
to
other high
Toronto
schools
after his
there.
trip
Eastern
was
Commerce is
discovered.
where the
Phillips
trouble
is
kids
now
go.
in quarantine. You can see a picture of the banner on
Monarch
our
Park
website,
Square. There's
680news.com.
Monarch Park right there. I can't remember.
More countries moving forward with their COVID-19 vaccine rollout.
India has approved 2
where I
COVID-19
lived
vaccines
before,
as the country
there's 5
steps up for the
schools around
first
my
phase of a
building.
massive vaccination program. The initial plan will aim to inoculate 300 million people. Healthcare workers, frontline staff, elderly, and vulnerable residents have been given priority. The UK is facing pressure from teachers to keep schools shut down as the country reported a daily record for the 5th straight day.
What's the point of putting
The
all
UK
the
set to
schools in
ramp
the
up
same place?
vaccinations on Monday. Australia now
wonder why
reintroducing
these
travel
gang
restrictions. States there seeing
all
new
in the same
outbreaks.
fucking
161
train or
active
bus
cases
to
reported in New South Wales.
Most of
The
them
Vatican
don't
set
live
to begin
anywhere near
vaccinations
that
later this
neighborhood.
month. No word yet
One
on
knows
whether
crack
84-year-old Pope
beer
Francis will be
store,
getting the shot. And stateside
ghetto
Southern
building,
California
liquor
hospitals
store,
that have been
daycare,
overwhelmed with
ghetto
patients
building,
began to
subsidized.
receive military relief on Saturday.
Sure.
California
Off-track
reported a
betting.
record 585 deaths on New Year's Day. The state
last
reported over
year,
50,000 new cases on Saturday.
rehab
I'm
in
Michael
a
Ranger.
7-Eleven,
Meantime, in
all
the
in a
U.S.,
row.
the death toll
Swear
from
to God.
COVID-19 has surpassed 350,000, and more than 20 million people in the country have been infected with the virus. U.S. government infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci says several factors are contributing to the surge.
Inconsistent adhering to the public health measures, the winter months coming in right now with the cold, allowing people or essentially forcing people to do most of these things
cold is going to
indoors
make everyone
as
stay
opposed to
inside, so
outdoors,
they'll
and
get
then the
more sick.
traveling
The summer has
associated with
everybody
holiday
outside,
season
so they'll get more
is
sick.
all of the
Realize how
ingredients
stupid
that
you sound
unfortunately make for a situation that is really terrible.
Health experts are anticipating another spike in cases and deaths stemming from the holiday gatherings over Christmas and New Year's.
Happening now in Brampton, demonstrators continue to rally in support of farmers in India protesting a controversial new bill in that country. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us live from here, Ontario, and Steeles. Michelle.
Well, Caitlin, the protests now starting to wind down. Only about a dozen or so protesters left, but those protesters are
We gotta get back to
They're still
Scarborough for the
going strong.
long-term
They've
care
got the
home.
loudspeakers.
By the way,
so
farmers,
plenty of honking drivers here
older,
supporting
much
their
older
cause.
men.
At one point this
older
afternoon, more than
people
100
regardless.
protesters lined the intersection
The
here
fight
at
in this country
Ontario and
needs,
Steeles with signs reading,
long-term care
"How can you
homes
support
and shit.
farmers?" and "No
You think their
farmers,
kids
no
that come
food."
here don't know that? Oh, their kids don't come here? Oh, why are they making money for it to send their kids to better places? Oh, they're not.
They're
Okay, what
protesting
are we
new farming
talking about?
legislation in India. They say will exploit farmers already
They
dealing with
say-
severe debt by opening up grain sales to private corporations rather than farmers receiving a minimum guaranteed sale price from the government.
And you tried to present that as a good thing, which is why these people are pissed off.
Organizers
You
say
are the
Gill
reason
hopes
they're
these
pissed
protests
off.
will inspire more Canadians to join their cause. This is the 6th weekend of
Okay, I don't
demonstrations
know what the
across the
fuck you did to
GTA.
your
While
machinery.
farmers in India have been
Fucking
blocking key highways on the
up.
outskirts of New Delhi and protests for several months. Live in Brampton, I'm
Realize
Michelle
how
Mackey.
fucking useless that
Well, a
is?
couple of weeks into winter and a few days
Oh, it
into the
doesn't
new
matter.
year, it doesn't
Yeah, 'cause
look
we're all
like a
nigger
typical
fucks.
winter.
Okay,
Our
well, us
meteorologist
nigger
Carl
fucks
Lamb
been moving
tells
your
us
product.
We can expect more of this mild weather as we head further into the week.
It is going to be a very
When did you get them
quiet weather
cigarette
week
machines?
across the GTA, aside from the
23
chance for a little bit of snow
I don't know
on
what I'm talking
Tuesday,
about.
which won't amount to very much. That is it. We don't have any major storm systems headed to the GTA within the next 7 to 10 days.
Today's guaranteed high 2 degrees, and throughout the GTA we can expect some
The
snow,
other one
but
has a
doesn't
busted
look like
zip
it's
lock.
sticking
It's
around.
kinked. It's creased in
In
two
the U.S.,
places. I'll
Georgia's
use that one for
Secretary
the
of
blueberries
State
I
says
send
they're
out
ready
on
for
the
this week's
mail.
runoff election.
Secretary of State Raffensperger says he expects there to be a high turnout Tuesday.
We're expecting probably over 1 million people to vote this coming Tuesday.
Hanging in the balance is control of the U.S. Senate. Raffensperger, a Trump-supporting Republican, pushing back on Trump's unfounded claims of fraud, telling ABC News the state is ready.
This is an election by Georgians to elect Georgians to represent us in the United States Senate.
He says there's always a paper trail that can be recounted and checked to ensure accuracy and integrity. Mark Remillard.
Yeah, the Canadian myth of bad election machines.
News time, 3:39.
That myth didn't come from Canada because we don't use election machines. We tried them once in a municipal election.
6 years ago, I was no
It shows you a piece of paper, almost like you're getting a receipt. So I didn't look close enough. I was pretty sure it was. I thought I was going to be able to look at it in a second, and it was boom into the machine.
My debts are paid off, and I only make 1 monthly payment.
Read hundreds of other 5-star Google reviews and apply today to start saving.
Use your home to get a loan with New Borrow.
Visit newborrow.com. License 13115.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Andrew predicts the price of gas will not change at midnight, holding at just under $1.08 a liter.
680 News time, 3:40.
This is Superfan Napatia. You see me driving a lot of SUVs, but I have fallen in love with the new Genesis GV80, the only seat that can compare to my courtside seat.
You're not supposed to fall in love with a car, Brethren.
SUV by Genesis, but there is very limited availability. Test drive the official.
I don't know where the 20-pack came from, but that's what everybody wants these days.
GenesisMississauga.ca. Don't miss the hottest SUV.
It's how much I can grab in one hand without counting.
Stop the spread.
The reason I'm doing it this way,
Can be
so I'm
deadly.
not
The time
touching
to
it
act is now.
unnecessarily.
Everyone must do their part to stop the spread of COVID-19. Stay at home. Period. Full stop. Only go out if absolutely necessary. That means for groceries, for medications, for medical appointments, or if you provide an essential service. Protect
Yeah, I
yourself
provide
and others.
medicines.
Stay home.
The
For
medicine.
information, visit ontario.ca/coronavirus. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
So the bags kinked up good.
News time, 3:41.
Time for traffic and weather together
Which is
on
good because I don't want it to be perfectly airtight sealed
Brought to you by
forever.
Canadian Blood Services. Not much change from my last report. Everything is still in good shape on the major
Your
roads
last
around
report.
the city. The 401 across the GTA, from what I can see here on our MTO Compass camera, still
You've been
wide
calling
open.
it our
We're trouble-free
station
on
and
the
our
404 Don
reports
Valley
for so
Parkway
long.
combination. Those earlier
Coming up on
troubles
your
we
traffic
had
report.
northbound Don Valley Parkway at Millwood have been cleared for quite some
Millwood.
time, and there's no
Lived in a
residual
spot called
backlog. The
Millwood
westbound and
Projects.
eastbound
The
Gardner
original
are still in good
criminal-minded
shape and we're
rap
trouble-free on the
topic.
QEW through Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington. In the Brampton area, eastbound Queen closed from McVean to
Very
Cherry
area.
Crest Drive, and that's for an ongoing collision investigation. A message from Canadian Blood Services. There's an immediate
If you're a
need for blood.
faggot, you
Donor
can't
centers
donate
remain
blood.
open throughout the
If you have
pandemic
sickle
to
cell, we
provide
won't tell
essential
you.
products for patients in need. Book now, blood.ca.
So in
Your
Britain,
next report is at
people with sickle
3:51.
cell
Now
are
report
allowed to
as
donate
Sarah's
blood.
Carl
The only
Lamb.
two things they
This
do
is
is they
quite a
don't give it to
simple
people with
forecast
sickle cell.
tonight.
Oh.
We are seeing some of that snow
And I
taper
forget what the
off
other thing
across
was.
parts
But
of
they do take, they use it.
northern
They,
areas in the GTA, so up towards
they take
Barrie,
precautions.
Shelburne. You're seeing a
They're
little
very
bit of light
precautious.
snow right
I
now,
love
but
that
that
word.
will all taper off
If they're
once we get into the
cautious,
evening
they
hours.
have already
And
taken
then it's just
precautions.
mostly
And
cloudy for us across the
No,
region
then
tonight.
they are.
-2 is the low
Where does
tomorrow.
pre come
It
from
is
in
going to
that
be a
word?
cloudy day. We will see a
Notice how
little
I
bit of
don't turn
sunshine.
them upside
+1
down?
will be the high.
Can someone please
-4 is the
explain
low,
to me why
and
cigarettes
the
are
wind will
packed
be
in
light
packs
as well,
upside
so it will be
down?
a blustery
Oh,
day
because the white
tomorrow.
people do it
As
that
we
way.
head into Tuesday,
Okay,
some
well,
snow
where's the law
showers
say
will
you
be
have to?
around. It kind of sets the mood, but it will not accumulate to very much. We're talking about a coating of snow at the best, and then we'll have
At the
a high
most.
+1 and a low of -2 on Tuesday night.
Because
Right
you've
now
been
it's
bragging
1
about how
Pearson,
snow is
2 at
good
680
all this
News,
time.
and our guaranteed high
So that's not the
is 2.
best, is it?
This is 680 News.
A prolonged holiday warm spell ended with a vengeance in Nova Scotia this weekend, leaving double-digit snowfall totals and thousands of residents without power today. Matt Drover coordinated Nova Scotia Power's response to outages.
What's different about a storm like this is that when the temperature hovers around 0 degrees Celsius for a number of hours while it's snowing, the snow is very wet and sticky, and it actually accumulates on trees. And
And the
because it
wires.
does that, it actually bends the tree branches into our power lines and causes outages.
It can.
Nova Scotia Power said more than 17,000
You have to think in
clients
3 dimensions and temporally, along with us with 4
the
dimensions.
province's northeast coast. Headlines are next.
680 News Time, 3:43.
Since the dawn of time, humans have been pursuing food. First in
No.
open plains and lush
Food came to
forests,
us at
and
first.
later in the crowded aisles
Yes,
of
it
grocery
did. You got evolution
stores.
backwards
Today, the
again.
pursuit is over.
Things were harder when we started,
Delicious, ready-to-cook meals like
and that's how there's so many of us now. Right, you're an idiot.
delivered right to your home. Because some things
21,
are
man.
better left in the past. Good food, eating evolved. Visit makegoodfood.ca.
Being a new mom isn't easy. But hugging's easy. Loving's easy.
Yeah.
And baby D-drops are easy too. Simply apply just 1 drop where baby feeds. There's no
In the
taste that doesn't
kitchen,
interfere with feeding.
in the car,
Pediatricians recommend vitamin
on
D
the
daily
floor.
for breastfed infants. Baby D drops the sunshine vitamin in just 1 drop.
This is all News Radio, 680 News.
It's +1, feeling like -3 and overcast. Good afternoon. I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour. Toronto waiting for some possible announcements this week. This after the top doctor warned cases will continue
waiting.
to
The
surge
city
for a
is
prolonged
waiting for
period.
some possible
Ontario
announcements. No,
reporting
they're
just
not,
under
you
3,000
moron.
new
We're
COVID-19 cases today.
actually waiting for some announcements that are coming from, guess what? The city.
To
You
protest
fucking
in solidarity with
retard.
farmers in
Jesus
India
Christ,
against a
that
new
is.
bill they say will hurt livelihoods. The crowd at one point reached about 100 people. It's now starting to dwindle.
You said it was
and
several
the Ron
hundred.
Phillips
You said it was
office in
200.
Ajax, there's a
You
banner
did.
outside now that's been
Pretty sure
taped
you
up
did. I got the
demanding he
impression there was
resign
200 people
as
there.
MPP. You may remember he already resigned from his finance minister post on New Year's Eve following a controversial trip
It has
to
nothing to
St.
do with
Bart's
giving up his
despite the
cabinet
pandemic.
seat. You guys are dumb. Why didn't he do this and that?
Time for 680
Why is he
Sports
allowed to do
Sports
this and that?
at
'Cause it's
5:90. Here is
legal.
Shil Ali.
Let's get right to the NFL scoreboard for Week 17, and let's begin with Bills Dolphins, where Isaiah McKenzie has 3 touchdowns so far.
Everything
and Josh
illegal?
Norman
To
pick
us,
6
it's all
of Tua
legal?
has the Bills up
Now, that's the
42 to
dichotomy of
13.
multiple
You listen
nations
to that
occupying
blowout
the
on
same
fan
land. Kind of
with
like
John
the
Murphy and
Benelux
Steve
region.
Tasker. Elsewhere, the Patriots
in
lead the
South
Jets
Africa.
28-14. Cam Newton has
By the
3
way,
TD
your
passes.
gay
Sony
flags
Michel
above
catching the most
that are
recent
shaped
one.
like South
The
Africa's
Ravens are
flag.
38-3 on the Bengals. They have over 350 yards of offense on the ground alone, which is a team record, if you're wondering. The Browns lead the Steelers 24-16. Canadian Chase Claypool had a great leaping
If
TD
you're
catch in the
wondering,
end zone.
please put some
Minnesota
more
and Detroit
empathy
keep
into
going
what you're
back and forth.
doing.
Vikings
Telling
lead
us that sports isn't
38-29.
enough.
Justin Jefferson now has the most receiving yards in a
That's like a
season
business
for any
report
rookie in the
when
Super Bowl
you're
era. He surpasses Anquan Bolden to take that title. Giants lead the Cowboys 20-19. Ezekiel Elliott scoring the most recent touchdown for Dallas there. And the Bucs lead the Falcons 30-20. Russell Gage has the TD catch most recently there. And let's get some Premier League scores from England. Leicester City beating Newcastle 2-1, while the COVID-riddled Man City knocked off Chelsea 3-1. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
The holiday season always makes us feel better. So let's keep that healthy attitude going. And it starts now at Healthy Planet. All month enjoy Boxing Day savings on healthy foods, supplements, sports, and beauty products. Now save 30% on the entire line of New Chapter supplements. And pick up 2 packs of cloth masks for kids, now for just $9.99. Visit one of Healthy Planet's 29 Canadian family-owned locations near you, or healthyplanetcanada.com.
Your roof sprung a leak. The water came through, shorted out the furnace, the radiator.
When stuff happens and you need money now, right now, go to prudentfinancial.net.
If you need money in a hurry, prudentfinancial.net. Get money quick, just one click. Prudentfinancial.net.
Car or homeowners get approved in less than an hour. Borrow up to $75,000, even if you're self-employed or have no proof of income.
Prudentfinancial.net.
67.
680 news time, 3:47. Hundreds of mourners gathered to remember the victims of a mass shooting at a bowling alley in Rockford, Illinois.
It was a vigil marking 1 week since authorities say a decorated Special Forces sergeant opened fire, apparently at random. 6 people were shot. 3 of them were killed. At the vigil, the bowling alley's owner, John Sommer, thanked first responders.
They were here with
Manager of the bowling alley bar, Jamie Vaughn, said not only is he remembering the people who were killed and injured,
but also the ones that witnessed this. Those people are also victims, and they are scarred.
The 37-year-old suspect is due back in court next month. An attorney for Duke Webb suggests PTSD was a contributing factor. Brian Clark, ABC News.
21.
680 News Time 348 in North Carolina. Church at the center of a COVID-19
I can't count them. I don't fucking know. We don't
this
go by
weekend.
weight with these fucking dicks. That's why you keep trying to give us expanded tobacco. That's already cured.
There was a bad time to hold a large gathering. The church told health officials that it would follow all necessary precautions and limit the number of people inside. In October, more than 200 people contracted the virus and 11 people died following a week-long convocation at the church. On Saturday, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services reported that nearly 7,000 people in the state died from COVID-19. Todd Ant, ABC News.
A number of politicians across the country in hot water for flooding public health guidelines on non-essential travel. And now Ottawa is considering barring overseas travelers from accessing a new benefit for those who have to quarantine due to the virus. The Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit is
why would it not apply to? It should apply to them if they're coming. Okay, hold on. What are they? Now we're going to have arguments over and over about who's a diplomat.
However, questions have been raised around whether Canadians who have traveled abroad should be allowed to collect the money during their mandatory 2-week quarantine period upon returning to the country. Employment Minister Carla Quattro says the benefit was never intended to encourage or provide an incentive for Canadians to travel outside the country, and the government continues to discourage non-essential travel. Laurie Paris, the Canadian Press.
Traffic and weather is next. 680 News Time 350.
Give your oven a break this year and cook all your holiday favorites on a Traeger wood pellet grill instead. Fueled by all-natural hardwood pellets, Traeger grills add incredible wood-fired flavor to everything you cook. Traeger's also boasts 6-in-1 versatility that lets you cook everything from roast turkey and grilled veggies to baked cookies and smoked eggnog. Plus, Wi-Fi technology lets you control your grill right from your phone. To learn more and find a dealer near you, visit TraegerGrills.ca/Canada dealers.
There's still time to go extra rounds at 2001 Audio Video's biggest and best Boxing Week sale. There's still inventory reduced to the absolute lowest price ever. From wireless and audio products to 4K smart TVs with 2-year warranty, many below cost. 2001 with the guaranteed lowest Boxing Week price. Shop online or phone for curbside pickup. 2001
680 News Time 351. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR, and I'm just checking out the Don Valley Parkway right now on our rescue cameras here, and everything is looking good if you're traveling north or southbound.
Wow.
On the southbound side
Rescue
of Lawrence,
cameras,
so it's not
wow.
Really slowing your drive. The Gardner Expressway, it's moving.
I haven't heard that term since the 90s. Holy fuck, RESCU. That's, I don't know if they're still called that. That's what they were called.
We haven't had any problems all day, and there aren't
They're
any
not
right now.
RESCUE. They're not for rescuing you. I don't know what it stands for. It's like Tornado, ORNGE, the helicopter that comes and gets you. That should be called the rescue helicopter.
ETR. That's why they've developed a COVID assistance program for those who need it most. Your next
I
report
realize
is
I'm
at
trying to count
401.
these.
Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Well, it's quiet across the GTA.
Not that fucks me up
some
counting,
of
but
those
that's
low
just good.
clouds as we
Rescue
look
cams,
across
really.
the city this afternoon. We are seeing a little bit of light drizzle, but again, it is nothing that is going to slow you down all that much. And any of that snow has been trapped up north, really, for the bulk of the day. Temperature is dropping down to -2 tonight with mostly cloudy conditions. And then as we head into tomorrow and Tuesday, both days a high of +1. As we head into tomorrow, it's a mix of sun and cloud, but we will see more clouds at times throughout the day. So there will be some sunshine, but it's not a day filled with wall-to-wall sunshine. So and it's not going to be too windy. So tomorrow's a pretty decent day overall. And then Tuesday, we do have some snow showers and overcast conditions, but not going to accumulate to very much, a coating at best. And then as we head into Wednesday, 2 degrees will be the high there with a mix of sun and cloud, and then we'll see some more sunshine to wrap up the week. Right now, it is 1 degree at Pearson, 2 degrees downtown, and our guaranteed high today is 2.
Being a new mom
12
isn't
to
easy.
14. I'll deal with it after.
but hugging's easy.
So yeah, I could pass Monty for the same price that
Baby drops are easy too. Simply apply just one drop where baby feeds. There's no taste, so it doesn't interfere with feeding. Pediatricians recommend vitamin D daily for breastfed infants. Baby D drops, the sunshine vitamin in just one drop.
When a winter storm hits, the 680 News Extreme Weather Center is activated. For the latest storm tracking, delays on your commute, whether schools are open or closed, turn to 680 News and the Extreme Weather Center.
Brought to you by Subaru. Confidence in motion.
On your radio, online,
And on your smart speaker.
this is 680 News.
You're listening to 680 News at 3:54. Ratatouille, the TikTok musical, has now raised over $1 million for the Actors Fund. The musical premiered on TikTok on New Year's Day. It stars Adam Lambert, Titus Burgess, and Ashley Park. It was also written by people on TikTok. Tickets went for $5 a piece and over 200,000
on TikTok. Well, that's not a
Tickets are available for purchase until tomorrow if you'd like to watch this musical sensation.
I just want to see Donald Trump's head explode.
A lot of creativity during this pandemic. It's one good thing coming out of it. 680 News Time, 3:54. Police are investigating a possible shooting in Scarborough after two men made their way to the hospital with unspecified injuries.
So did the doctor report gunshot wounds when there weren't any? Hey, Premier, can you point out that 12-year-olds are allowed to carry guns in this province and that the rule about reporting gunshot wounds is ridiculously stupid?
News, 680 News.
A little bit of tobacco shouldn't matter as long as it's dry.
Subscribe now at 680news.com/newsletters.
And always be the first to know.
At jackpotcity.net, you can do amazing things with just one casino chip.
That's,
Discover a
6
world
by
of
9.
incredible casino games with over
Same as you
500
get your,
high-quality online slot games,
from,
including the world-renowned progressive jackpot slot Mega Moolah. Play for free at jackpotcity.net.
This is why I'm supposed to have 2 fucking cigarette cases, but I
So
don't.
visit jackpotcity.net today on your tablet, laptop, or mobile.
Police took the first one.
Jackpot City,
I don't
a
remember
whole
where.
world of casino games. 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
Fuck, I got that. Everybody tells me get them at the dollar store. But they
We'll
don't
get you
sell
all the
that.
best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
Yeah,
680 News Time,
Bags here,
3:56.
quick,
Now
these
your
great
business
scooters,
report.
I'm Tim DeMopulos. A new survey by Automotive News and Deloitte on gender equity and inclusion in the automotive workplace shows that the industry has a lot to do to retain and attract female talent. Women make up about half of the total workforce, but only 25% of the total in automotive.
If you're curious, it's not a huge secret. It's the address of the school on the reserve that my people are from. It is basically the poorest community in Canada. Fuck the downtown east side of Vancouver. Y'all got money for drugs. And yet, you don't see the poverty there. So how the fuck is that? Because we don't let it run us. We run it. What?
Women in the industry are certainly feeling less positive about their career prospects as well as the attitude towards women in the automotive sector.
When compared to their male counterparts, women are a lot less positive about the industry.
In the most recent survey, 55% of the women said they would stay in the industry, which of course, the corollary to that is 45% of women said they would leave the industry if given a choice, where only 32% of women said that they would leave the industry.
So why the regret
and I bank so my nieces and nephews won't have to.
Backslide, where they are seeing that the opportunities for advancement, the initiatives around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and a lack of work-life balance are, in their minds, not progressing the way they would like to see it, and so they are feeling more negative about the industry than they were 5 years ago. The other question we asked them was where would they go, and interestingly enough, the two sectors that came out were the high-tech or technology sector, as well as healthcare. They believe that those sectors both have a better representation around diverse workforces and a better attitude towards diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And yeah, that means I'm not wasting. At the same point, you see me throw it on the ground and stuff.
Getting you where you need to go
faster.
The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
Well, it's time to pack up 2020 and send it on its way. Some say it can't happen soon enough. That's why your Ontario Subaru dealer is beginning the new year in the best way possible. A whole week early.
Why'd I do all that on video? Am I trying to encourage kids and show them how cool it is? Showing you how much trouble it is. If you're gonna do it. All I know is my aunt told me when I was a kid, if you're going to smoke and you grow up, you have to buy your own cigarettes.
Happy New 2021 from Subaru.
My grandmother became the cigarette plug to the whole world. I don't know half those people. They see me on the porch, I guess. See how simple these are? See how simple these are? Product of USA, Eddie Mac, wait for it, Pembroke, Ontario, KAA 6X8. Why is that relevant? All these different match packs and all the different places they come from are all Eddie Mac. I don't know who Eddie is. You got the match. All I can't figure out this material here. Does this come from China? Do they send this over to China and they dip it like how?
Taking a look at some regional conditions in downtown Toronto, it is overcast +2 at Pearson, overcast and +1. Cloudy in Milton and +1. 1 degree in Oakville, overcast. Brampton, 1 degree and overcast. In Richmond Hill, some light snow there, 0. Oshawa +1 and overcast, and in Pickering 0. And light snow. Up in Newmarket, 0 and light snow. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. James Mackin is our editor this afternoon. Tiwana Turner is at the digital desk. 680 News time at the tone. It's 4 o'clock.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Is there speeding up and slow down or this one?
3rd. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bodenstein.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour.
I keep dumping on the router. As soon as I'm not busy, you can see it clear as day, you fucking pedophile. There's lights on the fucking router that shows what you're doing.
The UK is ramping up vaccinations this week as COVID cases surge. India takes a big step towards vaccine rollout. More under international COVID-19 developments.
This time they waited until 20 seconds after.
Former Finance Minister Ron Phillips to resign as MPP has been taped to the front door of his Ajax office.
A Brampton demonstration turning out dozens to stand against new farming legislation in India, marking the 6th weekend of these protests across the GTA.
The 1 o'clock games are wrapping up in the NFL, second slate getting going shortly, and we'll hear from Kyle Dubas, who spoke to the media earlier today. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, your finances keeping you up at night? Well, it's an issue for many. We'll look at ways to reduce your financial stress to start the new year.
680 News time, 4:01.
Traffic and weather together now with Christine Lightos.
Thank you. This report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. Still a very quiet drive on the major routes this afternoon. Civil, we're using the word civil this afternoon because if you have to get somewhere, you simply won't have any problems getting to where you have to go. There are no obstructions. No collisions, no major construction projects either. Now, in Brampton, eastbound Queen is still close from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's because of a collision investigation. And a traffic spotter let me know traffic lights are malfunctioning at Bathurst and Wilson, so please treat the intersection accordingly. If you've been injured in an accident, your suffering and expenses could be completely covered. Call Diamond and Diamond Lawyers for a free consultation, 1-800-567-HURT. Your next report is at 4:11. Now, with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Well, we'll keep that going. It's a simple evening across the GTA, mostly cloudy. All of that precipitation is going to wrap up in the late afternoon, early evening, and then right now, we're just dealing with a little bit of mist outside in downtown Toronto. But other than that, really just quite calm. -2 is the low tonight. Tomorrow, more clouds and sun, a high of +1, and then we will have temperatures dropping down to -4 on Monday evening. Right now, it is 1 degree at Pearson, 2 downtown. Our guaranteed high is 2.
680 News time, 4:02.
I've been told that there's burners built into the walls of all the apartments in this building. You look up the address here, you're going to find the word notorious, and then you're going to find every fucking made-up story in the book. I've never seen burners built into the walls today.
680's Stuart McGinn has
they
the
say
details.
this building, the other one is connected to are identical. Everything is identical. There's nothing the same. There's nothing the same. Floor plans, windows, everything different. The numbers on the doors,
be seen as just to be waited out.
they are the same, because they came from the same damn hardware.
That was Dr. Eileen DeVilla days ago, with officials now confirming an announcement on these new measures for businesses will take place tomorrow, specifically geared towards improving distancing and overall safety as much as possible. The big unknown is what that actually means with only essential doors allowed to remain open in Toronto since late November. Those details will come as new supports also come into effect, once again giving essential workers free childcare and providing free lunches for students, even though they'll start the year learning remotely.
I'm sorry, officer, you got a problem with the dichotomy between me not having Canadian currency and constantly having stuff, food, cigarettes,
steadily higher, with 2,964 new infections and 25 new deaths. I'm Stuart McGinn.
Bastards only take overtime shifts and pay duty to cover the interest payments on shit you shouldn't have bought. And the work takes your mind off the fact that while your girl's at home without you.
In Brampton, Field Regional Police say it happened around 1 o'clock this afternoon near Queen Street East and Cherry Crest Drive. Constable Heather Cannon says a pickup truck and a transport truck.
This one cigarette satisfies my craving. You see me doing 3 at a time off these fucking other things here.
He has since been transported to a trauma center with life-threatening injuries.
Queen Street East is closed between McVean and Cherry Crest Drive. Stay with 680 News for more on this story.
680 News Time 4:04. Outside of MVP Ron Phillips' office in Ajax, a banner is now hanging that reads, "Resign now." Phillips attracted controversy since he took a trip to St. Bart's over the holidays against public health guidelines. Upon returning to Canada on New Year's Eve, he resigned as finance minister, but did not resign as the member of provincial parliament for Ajax. LA was also seen hanging outside of his door in his office the day he returned.
This is 680 News. It's 4:05. COVID-19 vaccine distribution continues around the globe.
Is that allowed? Or not? All these little technicalities are like
the UK is preparing to ramp up COVID-19 vaccinations this week. This as cases in the country surge. Over 50,000 new cases and new daily records for 5 straight days. Over 500,000 doses of the recently approved AstraZeneca vaccine will be available for rollout Monday. That vaccine now approved in India, along with one from Indian drug maker Bharat Biotech. This is a big step in what will be a massive inoculation program in the world's second most populous country. Greece planning to reopen schools in just over a week, but the country is tightening its lockdown in the meantime. Retail shops, hair salons, and bookstores are now closed. A doctor in northern Mexico has been hospitalized after suffering a severe allergic reaction to the Pfizer vaccine. The 32-year-old doctor had a known allergy to antibiotics and is now in stable condition. I'm Michael Ranger.
More durable and hardy.
The U.S. government's top infectious disease expert says national and state officials need to work together to get Americans vaccinated.
Dr. Fauci says
calling the National Guard, that always works.
Yet, but thinks we can get there.
To just leave the states on their own without any help, without any instruction, without any resources is going to be tough. You've got
Cafe
a combination of both.
A special Cafe Noir, Cafe Nero.
72 hours. They've gotten 1.5 million doses into people's arms.
He anticipates hitting President-elect Biden's goal of 100 million in the first 100 days, so that by spring, anyone who wants a vaccine can get one.
By the time we end the summer and get to the fall,
and you're going to keep saying that, Carl. Why aren't they getting it? I don't feel safe because they didn't get the vaccine. Did you get it? You don't need me to get it. You got it.
This week. I'm Julie Walker.
Kudos to all the
protest in Brampton is ramping up as demonstrators speak out against measures put forward by the Indian government. Ones say they will harm farmers there financially. 680's Michelle Mackey joins us live from here, Ontario, and Steeles. Michelle.
Well, Zach, at one point this afternoon, there were over 100 protesters lining this intersection, lots of honking cars showing their support. There was also a small convoy of tractors with flags and signs of support driving by. The Indian government recently passed legislation abolishing the minimum guaranteed sale price for grain from the government, opening up sales directly to private corporations.
I just need one of them to go up the side of this building. I want them to go up 22 fucking floors. I want to see that.
Because they're so good. And protest
so these ones will hang and go down a wall or something.
The Indian government changes the laws and hopes more Canadians will join them.
I want another seat.
We are asking all the Canadians to pressurize our government, which is my message just to the leaders of the opposition party, your local MPPs and MLAs, and pressurize them so that they
won't collapse in the middle because it's not pre-expanded tobacco.
Protesters also hope these demonstrations will inspire people to support local farmers here in Canada. Live in Brampton, I'm Michelle Mackey.
680
If you
news time,
put these type of packs in the freezer or the fridge is horrible because the temperature's constantly going up and down, and that sweet spot dries them up so fast.
To more people
If you
rather
put those in
died
the
of
freezer, they will dry
COVID-19.
out.
That means the total amount
These are
of
designed for
residents
the
at that
trafficking of cigarettes.
LTC who have
They're
passed
designed
away
so that when they put the
from the
cigarettes
virus
in,
is
which by the way, this is
62. There are
upside
no
down.
new COVID-19 cases
Why
being
not this way?
reported, and
This
there are a
thing goes in
total
our
of
mouth, right?
55 resolved cases there. This home has been the site of protests
It
with
takes
people
2
demanding
weeks from when
military
they put in the
assistance be
pack to when
brought
it's in your
back
hand at the
into
store.
long-term
They're
care
designed to
homes,
cure in
as well
that
as
time.
more from the federal and provincial
But they use
government to
expanded
help
tobacco
manage
and all
the
sorts of other
crisis.
tricks.
This is 680 News at 4:08. As the runoff
So they should weigh
elections in
about
Georgia
1.15.
continues, some controversial
The gram of
audio
tobacco
of President
0.15
Trump
for
has
the
come
filter. I
out.
don't
An
know why it
audio
used
of
to
a
be
phone call between
0.7,
President Trump and Georgia
0.3.
Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger,
Expanded to
obtained by the
1.7.
Washington Post. President Trump suggests Raffensperger should publicly announce a change to the results.
There's nothing wrong with saying that, that you bring
Although I've never weighed the light
Raffensperger
purpose
corrects
compared
Trump
to the other
about
ones.
debunked
Good,
conspiracy
yeah.
theories regarding voting machines,
Some of them
but
have
still
sparkle
Trump
and
tells him
You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a
Surgeon
criminal-
General's warning:
that's a
smoking
criminal
causes lung cancer, heart
Mark
disease,
Remillard,
emphysema,
ABC
and may
News.
complicate pregnancy. I should have said that first. I got a whole
Normally,
shitload
New
of
Year
these
means
rolling
lots of snow on
joints.
the ground, children making snowmen, maybe enjoying a winter wonderland, but with a guaranteed high of 2 today, not a lot of snow is sticking on the ground. 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says
4
next
degrees
week
in my window when
is
I
not going to
checked
be a very
in the
typical
last
winter,
half
and it'll
hour,
feel
so.
more like spring.
If you are sick of the clouds, well, there is good news for you that we'll see more sunshine as we head throughout the week. Once we
So,
get
if
past
you are going to
Tuesday,
be a drug
the
addict,
sunshine does
I am
increase for
physically addicted to the
Wednesday,
nicotine.
Thursday, and
I
also
could
for
talk all day
Friday
about
as
the
well.
medicinal
So
value.
it is an encouraging sign that we'll have drier and
I have a hard
brighter
time breathing.
conditions to wrap up the
However,
week.
We'll see some
I'm also addicted
precipitation
to the nicotine.
throughout the day into
You
the
have to
evening.
take
Currently, it's
responsibility
1
for your
degree, but it
drugs or
feels
get
like
off them, one or
-1.
the other.
We'll check gas prices
I
next.
guess that's both. Taking
This is 680 News.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day on your radio, on our mobile app, and on your smart speaker.
Play 680 News.
Hi, I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye
Mohawk, give me
Institute.
those.
Thank you
They're
for the
running
wonderful
security
things
down
you're
there.
saying and posting and sharing about our
If they didn't
safety,
like
our
what I was
staff,
doing,
and our
they wouldn't keep
surgeons.
sending me
Our
more and
people
more and
inspire me.
extra every
Let
time
them
I turn
inspire
around.
you to free yourself from glasses, contact lenses, and cataracts.
Everybody
Say I've
involved
had
is
it and come
authorized
to
by the
Herzig.
U.S.
Google
Army
Herzig
in
Eye
this direction
Institute.
up,
Call us
by
for a
the Mohawks on the
consultation.
way
There's
down
no
the
charge.
hierarchy,
Herzig is
supply
prepared.
chain.
You're protected.
All
Look
authorized.
after
You can't
yourself.
touch none of it.
Promise
Just
me.
a
And now the
provincial
680
police
News
officer.
gas price update. Emperor says it's going to stay the same at midnight, holding at just under $1.08 a liter.
So when you
Traffic
stop
and weather
those
in
white
60
people and say,
seconds.
"Oh, that pack of cigarettes are legal," I have to take
Still
it.
time
No,
to
it's
go
not.
extra rounds.
They're allowed to go to the reserve, which
Biggest
is
and
a
best
different
Boxing
nation.
Week sale.
They're allowed to buy the
There's still
cigarette.
inventory reduced to the
You
absolute
get on an
lowest
airplane
price
with a
ever.
pack of cigarettes. Oh, those are illegal. You didn't buy them. Do they do that?
Smart TVs with 2-year warranty.
Can't have matches, but you can have you can't have lighters. When you get that. I
Guaranteed
don't
lowest Boxing Week
understand
price.
those.
Shop
I'm talking
online
about
or
duties and
phone for
customs.
curbside pickup.
So Turkey apparently makes cartons that are 1,000 cigarettes. These are 200.
Hi, I'm Adam,
But
founder
the typical
of
number I
newborrow.com,
see,
and I started
at
our
least in the
company
countries
after
I
I
pay
got
attention to,
fed
is
up with the
200. You
mortgage
can
loan
take
process.
200 cigarettes.
Turns out I wasn't
I
alone.
think it's like a liter of
Thousands
wine
homeowners
and
wanted
so on.
help.
So
They
2
went
bottles of
above
wine.
and beyond to help me get a line of credit. It was amazing service.
They treated me like a valued client and outperformed anyone I spoke
Trying
to.
to enforce it tighter than that would be
and save a little
ridiculously
money.
stupid and endeavor
Newborrow.com.
I don't want any more of these cigarettes. I'm fucking swinging.
It's done 411.
Traffic and weather together. Here's Christine Langos.
Thank you. And I'm just having a look at the 401 at our MTO Compass cameras. Everything is running along smoothly. No problems through Milton, through Mississauga. Across the GTA, everything is wide open, both express and collectors. The same thing through Scarborough. As you make your way into the Durham region, I'm not spotting any delays. That situation could be applied to the rest of the major routes. The Don Valley Parkway is in good shape. No problems on the 404
In your mind, you
or
go,
the
"Oh, it's
400.
clean enough."
The Gardner, the Queen Elizabeth Way, the 427, they all look good. On city streets,
However,
north and south southbound Bathurst
never
and
know
Wilson
all the
traffic
stuff that
lights are
got caught in
malfunctioning,
the
so please
filter.
remember to treat it as an
What do you
always
do with
stop.
your
And in
used
Brampton,
masks? You throw them
eastbound
on the
Queen, it's still
ground, and
closed
the
up from
disease
McVeigh to
builds up
Cherry
in the
Crest Drive for a
gutters.
collision investigation. Your next report is
I know
at
you're finding
4:21. Now the
COVID-19 in the
forecast, here is
sewers.
Carl
Well,
Lamb.
partly you're
Well, it's been
dumping
a
all that
quiet day
shit in
for
the
us as well. We're
sewers.
just dealing with a lot of cloud cover
Apparently, so
across the GTA.
soap and water
That's
destroys
actually
it
gonna
within
stick around
seconds.
tonight as
How are
well.
they
Some
finding it
areas
in
are
the
picking
sewage
up
water?
some of that
Think about
light
that.
rain. It's hardly even showing up on radar this evening as well. So that just gives you a sign of how light the precipitation is. But there are some patches of drizzle this evening, and as temperatures drop, we do have the potential for some of that to become a little slick. So exercise caution tonight on any untreated surfaces. Temperatures dropping down to -2 during the overnight tomorrow. +1 will be the high. It is more clouds than sun, but still overall a decent day because the winds are going to be quite light, so it won't be as cold as it could be. Right now, it is 0 at Pearson 2 downtown, or tonight's overnight low -2.
80 News Time 4:13. Well wishes are pouring in following news that world-renowned journalist Larry King is in hospital battling COVID-19. According to CNN, a source close to the family says the 87-year-old is undergoing treatment at Cedars-Sinai Medical Hospital in Los Angeles. King previously survived lung cancer, a heart attack, and most recently suffered a stroke in 2019. We'll check your headlines next. 680 News Time 4:14.
Pay homage to India's rich cultural history with a culinary experience from Bindia Indian Bistro, a family-owned and operated restaurant located across from historic St. Lawrence Market. India sources the
If they
freshest
dry out
meat
without
from their
breaking,
butchers
then I can
to
save
create
them.
your favorite Indian
I can save them
dish.
anyway. The
Order
seeds don't
today
care.
and experience why
They get all
Bindia
sticky
Indian
and
Bistro is a
seeds are all-
TripAdvisor Hall of Fame member. Bindia Indian Bistro, the essence of India through fresh, quality ingredients. Get 10% off your takeout order today when you book through bindia.ca. License 10349.
Some of these,
People don't usually sing
this
about
is a
their mortgage,
detriment
but
to
at
survivability
Northwood
of the
Mortgage they
game.
do.
But
They
some
sing
of
about
these
lower
go to yank
rates.
off
They
the
sing about
bunch and
greater
the whole
cash flow.
stuff.
They sing because we help them. You
You
could be
think
singing
that's a
about your
problem
mortgage
for
too. Come on,
survivability.
try it.
That could be why the bunches have so many.
Come on, try it. There you go. Call or visit us today at NorthwoodMortgage.com.
They all split off like the hierarchy of a family tree, a corporate governance structure.
Overcast, 2 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bodenstein, and here are the top stories this hour. Toronto health officials are holding a briefing tomorrow to announce new restrictions.
And these are the primordial tomato. These are what all the other tomatoes come from. Or they reverted back. Oh, look at those. Those are drying
physical
up.
distancing, though. We know that. And this comes as Ontario reports just under
Must have got
3,000
one.
cases of COVID-19 today. Around
Might
the
have having
globe,
a pullback.
coronavirus cases and deaths continue to climb to record highs, specifically in the U.S. and the UK. But more vaccine rollouts are beginning tomorrow and still to come.
The lighter color ones have some spots on them. But the seeds inside don't care.
Details on how parts of the Middle East are marking 1 year since the assassination of a top Iranian general.
He loves to put all these into this container.
680 News Time, 4:15
It's real
time
close
for
to
680
filling,
Sports and from
these ones all died on
the
the
fan.
vine.
Here's Show Ali.
Let's get right to the NFL scoreboard for Week 17 as the 1 p.m. games are mostly wrapping up. The Bills are up 56-19 on the Dolphins. They will clinch the number 2 seed with the win. You listen to what's left on the fan. Minnesota and Detroit keep going back and forth. Vikings lead 37-35. Marvin Jones has 3 touchdowns and almost 200 yards receiving. Giants lead the Cowboys 23-19. Dallas down in the red zone. And the Bucs lead the Falcons 44-27. Some games have gone final as well, including the Browns wrapping up their first playoff spot since 2002 with a 24-22 win over the Steelers. Ravens clinched a playoff spot as well with their 38-3 win over the Bengals, while the Patriots end the year with a 28-4 win over the Jets. And let's hear from Kyle Dubas, who spoke to the media today after the Leafs released their 40-man training camp roster, and he spoke about the All-Canadian division.
I think the thing that will make this division great is how close the teams are, how close they were last year. You know, it really forced you to get dialed in, as I mentioned off the top, on each and every game, because they're all vitally important with regards to the final standings, and because it's only 56 games. We have to be ready to go right from the start.
Sheldon Keefe also spoke about some line combos at camp, saying Joe Thornton will start on the left side with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 4:17.
Being a new mom isn't easy. But hugging's easy.
The rat's name is
Loving's easy.
Hello, mouse.
And baby D-drops are easy too. Simply apply just 1 drop where baby feeds. There's no taste, so it doesn't
Where does
feel
baby
bleeding.
feed?
Pediatricians
Where the
recommend
babies
vitamin
grow?
D daily for breastfed infants. Baby D drops, the sunshine vitamin in just one drop.
Your depression is not responding to treatment, and your disability claim has been denied. My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability claim has been denied for any reason, call me at 416-661.
I swear there's more glass in here, bro.
And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my team of lawyers
Wonder why
only
not
get
too
paid
quick to clean the
when you get
floor. All
paid.
that glass
And
is
before
part
you
of the
call,
reason why.
you should always remember that there are no
Also
live
like
questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
You're listening to 680 News. It's 4:18. Anti-U.S. protests have erupted in Iraq this weekend, marking the killing of an Iranian general.
Those look good. The peanuts at the bottom. Dog food.
On the streets of Baghdad, and supporters of the late General Qasem Soleimani demand America held to account for his assassination. CNN's Arwa Damon is in Istanbul.
I really wanted to trick him into that cage. I put this up in the
That
cage.
the Iraqi government actually
Birthday.
carry out what
Two-sided.
Parliament
It's two.
voted on last
It's
year
compartmental.
after the U.S. killed Qasem Soleimani, which was to remove U.S. troops from Iraqi soil.
From the streets of Iraq to the parliament in Iran, ABC's Julie McFarlane with the government's response.
Iran has announced it plans on enriching uranium up to 20%, far below the level needed to build a nuclear weapon, but far higher than was agreed in the 2015 nuclear deal.
It was 5 days after the assassination. The Iranian military shot down a Ukraine commercial plane over Tehran. 63 Canadians died
Like
in
it's
that
just
crash.
not
I'm Adam Steinberg.
And it's a sad loss for Vancouver's entertainment industry and the Indigenous community.
Actor and filmmaker Taryn Kootenay has passed away at 27 years old. His sister Cheyenne Kootenay is happy and proud of his accomplishments in the film industry, but she's most proud of the person he was.
You hear how she's not, it's not, oh, she's broken up by his death.
And just not being afraid of anything. And
Well, you only live once, according to you white people today. You used to say.
Career.
We were the reason you couldn't have eternal life.
Kids had a ride at Strathcona Community Center. He was born in Cold Lake, Alberta, and a member of the Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation. Taryn Kootenay's indigenous name was Standing Sunrise, which his sister says represents the type of guy he was. I'm Green Gouda.
In 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. 680 News Time, 4:20.
Treat yourself to the joy of driving during the Mazda Boxing Week event. Receive 0.5% purchase financing on select new 2021 models and make no monthly finance payments for 120 days on every new Mazda. Plus, enjoy up to a $1,000 winter tire credit on select new models. And drive on with the confidence of our unlimited mileage warranty standard on every new Mazda. Offers available from December 21st to January 4th. Visit your local Mazda dealer or Mazda.ca for details.
The holiday season always makes us feel better. So let's keep that healthy attitude going. And it starts now with Healthy Planet. All month enjoy Boxing Day savings on healthy foods, supplements, sports, and beauty products. Now save 30% on the entire line of new chapter supplements. And pick up 2 packs of cloth masks for kids, now for just $9.99. Visit one of Healthy Planet's 29 Canadian family-owned locations near you or healthyplanetcanada.com.
News Time, 4:21. Now time for traffic and weather together. Here's Christy Langos.
This report is brought to you by Uptown Wireless. Still no problems on the major routes around the city today. It's been very quiet all day and nothing has changed. The Gardner Expressway, the QEW, they're in good shape if you're traveling east or westbound. And if you're traveling north or southbound on the Don Valley Parkway, again, no issues. I'm seeing one tow truck northbound on the Don Valley Parkway, just southbound DVP, just south of Lawrence. It's over on the right shoulder. It's not causing any slowdown because volume is so light here. I don't know what would cause a backup. If you're traveling on the 401, that's moving well. In Brampton, eastbound Queen, still close from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's for a collision investigation and traffic lights malfunctioning at the intersection of Bathurst and Wilson. Unwrap more with the Rogers Wrapped in Red event. Get a Samsung Galaxy Tab A on select 2-year plans. Visit Rogers at Centerpoint Mall or uptownwireless.ca for details. Your next report at 4:31. Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
And temperatures tonight dropping down to -2 with mostly cloudy conditions, and things are really going to taper off and not be as active. But any of that drizzle that does fall this evening, some of it could become a bit slippery this evening. So just make sure you take it easy on any untreated surfaces. But it sounds like most people across the GTA are staying home, so that would be less of a concern tonight. As we head into the day tomorrow, temperatures will get up to +1. It's more clouds than sun, but we will see some sunny breaks at times, and then we'll have light winds for tomorrow as well. Tuesday, we do deal with a few snow showers at times, but really will be light in nature as we have a high of +1. There will be a bit of a breeze on Tuesday, so it will be a little colder than what we have for tomorrow. And then for Wednesday, 2 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Should be a really nice day. More sunshine as we head into Thursday and even Friday, and we continue that into the weekend. Right now, it is 0 at Pearson, and also it is 2 downtown, and tonight's overnight low -2.
I'm really worried about returning to the office.
Can I demand that I work from home?
Does my employer have to provide PPE?
If you are confused by the rules of the workplace as we enter the next stage of the pandemic, you're not the only one. My name is Stuart Rudner, and whether you are an employer or an employee, the team at Rudner Law will help you protect your rights in these challenging times. If you think you might need an employment lawyer, you probably do.
HR lawyers, employment lawyers, workplace lawyers, whatever you call them, you'll be glad you did. RudnerLaw.ca.
You're listening
to 680 News.
He's an artist, writer, and advocate who's spent more than 2 decades recording, interpreting, and indeed preserving the histories and landscapes of Vancouver. 680's Joan Ackerman is speaking with Michael Kluckner, who's back with a new book entitled Here and Gone, Artwork of Vancouver.
Si je me fous de mon grand-père, imagine-tu le grand-père de Boucard Diouf? C'est bien dit. Et Laurent, je te souhaite un joyeux temps des fêtes avec ta famille. Oui, merci. Toi de même. Puis j'invite les gens à redécouvrir ce vieux monologue-là. Pépère, c'est tellement un beau monologue avec une fin extrêmement touchante. C'est un grand monologue qui est moins connu que les unions que ça donne. Mais pour moi, ça reste quand même un de ses plus beaux numéros. Exactement. Voilà. Allez, au revoir, Laurent. Au revoir.
Vous écoutez les faiseux de rire avec Boucard Diouf.
Si, comme le dit la sagesse populaire, le bonheur est vraiment dans les petites choses. Au Québec, on doit être heureux parce qu'on abuse du mot petit en tabarouette. Ici, on entend parler de mon petit bungalow, ma petite sandwich, mon petit coin de pays, ma petite famille, tout est petit. Et je pense qu'on abuse un peu du mot petit, un tout petit peu, mais que voulez-vous? Vous ne pouvez pas voir grand ici-bas sans payer le prix là-haut, ainsi disait le curé avant la Révolution tranquille. Et moi je dis, on gagnerait parfois à voir plus grand. Pensez-y. Quand tu invites une belle petite femme à manger un bon petit souper dans un petit restaurant avec un petit rouge et qu'après une petite promenade, tu proposes à la petite madame de monter dans ton petit...
And easy. We talked to Monica Stokes, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology identifies the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. Monica did, and that's how she found Lamont, her new project superintendent.
The job is so perfect for me. I had a career breakthrough. I would have never found this job if it wasn't for ZipRecruiter.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from
Because it was advertised on ZipRecruiter.
With ZipRecruiter, we get hiring results.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada.
680 News Time 426, and now the business report.
I'm Mike Epple. 2020 was a year filled with unprecedented financial stress. The Scotiabank survey shows 40% of Canadians are now spending upwards of 16 hours every week fretting about their financials. Darcy McDonald is a senior vice president with the Scotiabank.
Canadians are certainly more worried, 40% more worried on a year-over-year basis. And women, millennials, and those who received the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit report worrying the most, which may be understandable. We should be grateful that the support was there because there's some pretty dark days early in the pandemic, and lots of people obviously were negatively impacted. I think the worry comes from, questions they may have, like, did I really qualify? Secondly, CERB was not taxed at source, so there may be a tax obligation for Canadians.
They don't know what your tax rate will be.
And that's why we're recommending, if these things are worrying you, certainly speak to a financial advisor or a tax specialist so you can worry less through the holidays.
They would have had to produce, create more money in the budget process to do that. About 5 to 50% more. Why would they do that in the midst of a fucking economic crisis? That makes no sense.
So we may see Canadians spending less through the holidays, but probably in a better position to pay for some of those presents, if you will, on the other side of the new year.
And with proper financial planning, what we learned from the markets this year could be helpful for 2021.
I think a lot of us thought in the early stages of the pandemic that we could be into a very long bear market, and what turned out to be a fairly quick and robust rebound. So I think that is giving Canadians a little bit more peace of mind that as the vaccine becomes more available, their job status becomes more secure. I think people are feeling more hopeful, and hopefully will worry less as we go deeper into 2021.
This is Darcy McDonald with the Scotiabank. And at the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Give your oven a break this year and cook all your holiday favorites on a Traeger wood pellet grill instead. Fueled by all-natural hardwood pellets, Traeger grills add incredible wood-fired flavors to everything you cook. Traeger's also boasts 6-in-1 versatility that lets you cook everything from roast turkey and grilled veggies to baked cookies and smoked eggnog. Plus, Wi-Fi technology lets you control your grill right from your phone. To learn more and find a dealer near you, visit TraegerGrills.ca/Canada Dealers.
At jackpotcity.net, you could do amazing things with just one casino chip. Discover a world of incredible casino games with over 500 high-quality online slot games, including the world-renowned progressive jackpot slot, Mega Moolah. Play for free at jackpotcity.net and get treated as a VIP 24/7. So visit jackpotcity.net today on your tablet, laptop, or mobile. Jackpot City, a whole world of casino games. 18 plus, please play responsibly. This is not a gambling website. Getting you where you need to go faster. The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
Our meteorologist Carl Lamb's forecast calls for snow showers in 2 degrees this evening. Overnight, mostly cloudy and -2. For tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy, -1. It'll go up to 2 degrees tomorrow afternoon with clouds and some sun. 680 News time. 4:30.
It's 5:30 in the morning.
More news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Right on the fucking calendar.
Good afternoon. It's Sunday, January 3rd. I'm Caitlin Lane.
Thank you. I was just trying to
making news right now.
New COVID-19 measures for businesses and workplaces will be announced in Toronto tomorrow as the province logs nearly 3,000 new cases of the virus.
MVP Rod Phillips continues to receive backlash following his vacation to St. Bart's despite the pandemic.
I know, some parts of the world, but all he looks like a pirate. You sail or something. Sometimes they get away from you.
More on your COVID-19 international developments ahead.
Protesters against new farming legislation in India have gathered in Brampton, the 6th weekend of these demonstrations across the GTA.
That sounds like a little car from India.
Wrapped up, second slate underway in Week 17 action, and we'll also hear from Sheldon Keefe, who spoke to the media earlier this afternoon.
And coming up in business, time to check out what the big technology trends will be in 2021. We're looking into our crystal ball to prognosticate some tech predictions straight ahead.
4:31.
Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Christine Lango.
This report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. The only problems we have are on city streets. At the intersection of Bathurst and Wilson, traffic lights are malfunctioning, so please treat the intersection accordingly. And in Brampton, it looks like eastbound Queen is still closed from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's because of an earlier collision. They're still on scene investigating. But the rest of the routes around the GTA, including the 401, the Don Valley Parkway, the Gardner, the Queen Elizabeth Way, they're all in good shape. If you've been injured, Diamond and Diamond is in your corner. See why so many clients have referred their friends and family back to Diamond and Diamond. Call 1-800-567-HURT for your free consultation. Your next report is at 4:41. Now with the forecast, meteorologist Carl Lamb.
Thanks, Christine. And really, it's just been a quiet day across the GTA. All of that precipitation, it is moved further north. We are seeing some light snow showers across northern portions of the GTA right now. But again, it has not been all that impressive. Hardly any accumulation. There's been some places that have picked up 1, maybe 2 centimeters, but a lot of this has melted right on impact. Mostly cloudy tonight, dropping down to -2. And then we head back up to +1 tomorrow. It's an overcast day, but we will have some breaks in the cloud cover for a little bit of sunshine with light winds. Again, tomorrow's high +1. Right now it is 0 at Pearson 2 downtown. Tonight's overnight low -2.
680 news time, 4:32.
Tomorrow marks back to work for many across Ontario. It also means new restrictions for Toronto. City health officials expected to announce those details at scheduled briefing this week.
The province is reporting just under 3,000 cases of COVID-19 today. 680 Stuart McGinn reports.
The lockdown may still be in effect and have a ways to go, but much of Toronto gets back to work and routine after the holiday break as this cloud hangs overhead.
Toronto Public Health will announce additional actions meant to reduce risk associated with COVID-19 in workplaces.
That hint coming days ago from Dr. Eileen Davila. She only added the measures will focus on creating as much space and distance as possible. The announcement and details on this coming tomorrow. But so far, Davila's warnings of higher case counts following the holidays is what we're seeing. The province reporting 2,964 cases, a leading 786 in Toronto, along with 25 new deaths province-wide. And along with this announcement from city officials on the way, 2 other measures are also set to come into effect tomorrow. One giving essential workers free childcare once again. The other starting the city's free lunch program for students, despite the fact that they aren't back in the classroom just yet.
The city of York have that, like in the 80s?
680 news time, 4:34. A man is in hospital with life-threatening injuries after a collision. Peel Regional Police Constable Heather Cannon says the call came in just before 1 o'clock this afternoon.
We were called to the intersection of Queen Street East and Cherry Crest Drive in Brampton for a 2-vehicle collision. The collision involved a transport truck and a pickup truck.
The driver of the pickup truck taken to a trauma center in critical condition. The other driver remained on scene. Queen Street East closed between McVean and Cherry Crest Drive. The Major Collision Bureau is investigating, and there is a heavy police presence on scene.
680 news time, 4:34. The backlash against former Finance Minister Rod Phillips continues with a sign hanging on his office that says, "Resign now." He traveled to the Caribbean over the holidays despite public health urging everyone not to travel. Phillips released several tweets over the holidays in which he appeared to be at home. Upon his return to the country, he resigned at his cabinet position, but not as his position as the member of provincial parliament for Ajax. It's currently unknown who placed the banner, and Phillips's office has not commented so far.
More people around the globe are rolling up their sleeves for a COVID-19
It's not his office.
Hospitals in the United Kingdom have now started to receive batches of the recently authorized AstraZeneca vaccine. Over 500,000 doses are expected to be available when the country's vaccine rollout begins on Monday. Nursing home residents and workers, hospital staff, and anyone over the age of 80 have been given priority for the first shots. This comes as the UK records a 5th straight day of record coronavirus cases. The AstraZeneca vaccine has now been approved in India, along with a vaccine manufactured by Indian drug maker Bharat Biotech. The authorization of 2 COVID-19 vaccines in the world's second largest nation is the first step in a massive inoculation program. Looking stateside, Governor Andrew Cuomo saying New York State has now recorded 1 million cases since the onset of the pandemic. Mayor Bill de Blasio recently setting a lofty vaccination goal for New York City.
1 million people we will reach in January.
Eric Garner too.
I'm Michael Rager.
New York. Stop and frisk. Why did you ever go along with it?
4:36. The death toll from COVID-19 in the U.S. has surpassed 350,000, and experts anticipate another surge in cases stemming from holiday gatherings. Multiple states have reported a record number of cases over the past few days, including North Carolina and Arizona. In Hardwick, California, funeral homes are turning families away because they have no more room for bodies. And Florida is reporting its first case of the new more contagious strain of the coronavirus.
Meanwhile, the vaccine
Just like
rollout
I'm white
continues to
in
face
Canada.
challenges. The CDC says over 4
I'm
million
white from
people
Jamaica.
received a
I'm white
first
from
dose of COVID vaccine, with 13 million doses distributed. But that's far short of Operation Warp Speed's goal. I'm Julie Walker.
680 News Time, 4:37. Another protest in support of farmers in India. Demonstrators gathered to speak out against a bill in that country they feel will hurt livelihoods. 680's Michelle Mackey was there. She joins us live with the latest.
Lots of honking in support of the more than 100 protesters who bared the snow and cold for hours in support of Indian farmers. The Indian government recently passed legislation abolishing the minimum guaranteed sale price for grain from the government, opening up sales directly to private corporations.
It's basically a death sentence for the poor farmers who already cannot service their debt.
And protest organizer Sam Gill says they'll keep protesting until the Indian government changes the laws and hopes more Canadians will join them.
So we are asking all the Canadians to pressurize our government, which is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the leaders of the opposition party, your local MPPs and MLAs, and pressurize them so that they voice their opinion against the Indian government.
Protesters also hope these demonstrations will inspire people to support local farmers here in Canada. In Brampton, I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 4:38. It's early in winter, but it doesn't look like it. There's barely any snow on the ground in the city, and as 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb tells us, this is becoming the norm for the GTA.
Aside from that New Year's Day blast of snow and freezing rain and ice pellets, we are going to be dealing with rather calm conditions across the GTA, with temperatures running slightly above average. And for the past 2 years, that has been the trend as well, where temperatures have been a little bit above average to start the month. And then once we get into the middle of the month, that's when the weather systems start to pick up.
Today, we reached a high of +2.
Reaction continues to pour in following news Larry King, one of the most famous American journalists of the 20th century, is fighting COVID-19. CNN says an unidentified person close to the family revealed the 87-year-old is undergoing treatment in Los Angeles. Fans and friends of King have taken to Twitter to send well wishes. King suffered a stroke last year and throughout his life has recovered from heart attacks as well as lung cancer. And last year, 2 of his children died, a son and daughter, from a heart attack and lung cancer, respectively.
Gas prices are next.
680 News Time, 4:39.
Your roof sprung a leak. Water came through, shorted out the furnace, the radiator too.
When you need money fast, Prudent Financial has been your best bank alternative since 1984.
If you need money in a hurry, PrudentFinancial.net. Get money quick, just one click. PrudentFinancial.net.
If you own your car or your home, get a loan. Borrow up to $75,000 in less than an hour. Self-employed, no proof of income, no problem.
PrudentFinancial.net.
Now the 680 News gas price update. And Pro predicts the price of gas will not change at midnight, holding at just under $1.08 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather coming up.
680 News Time, 4:40.
Humans are the most advanced species on Earth. We've conquered fire, created powerful technologies, and yet we're still stuck paying for food delivery. Not anymore. With good food, you can get delicious ready-to-cook meals and grocery items like Good Food hummus, popcorn, and bacon delivered free right to your home.
All I got to do is figure out
Eating evolved.
some kid out there
Visit
knows how to do it.
MakeGoodFood.ca. With minimum purchase. Details on MakeGoodFood.ca.
Something like the
Well, it's time to pack up 2020 and send it on its way. Some say it can't happen soon enough.
That's why your Ontario Subaru dealer is beginning the new year in the best way possible. A whole week early. Yay! So hurry to the Unboxing Week event and drive away in a brand new 2021 Subaru right now, along with a special $500 bonus because gosh darn it, we all deserve it this year. The Unboxing Week event on now until January 4th. Happy New 2021 from Subaru.
680 News Time, 4:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Lagos.
This report is brought to you by Canadian Blood Services. On the eastbound 401 approaching the 400 in the Express, the traffic spotter reports we have a garbage bin rolling around in the right lane, so we're just checking out the cameras for it right now. And eastbound 401 a bit slow approaching the Leslie ramp, but that's because we have problems on the ramp. But again, I can't spot them here on the cameras right now. It is bunching up though, eastbound 401 approaching Leslie in the collectors. You might want to stay within with the Express, they're in great shape right now, and no other problems on the rest of the major routes. We had an issue very quickly disposed of northbound on the 410 north of the 407. It was a stalled vehicle in the right lane, but a tow came and took it away in no time. In Brampton, eastbound Queen from McVean to Cherry Crest, it's still closed because of this collision investigation. And the intersection of Bathurst and Wilson, traffic lights are malfunctioning. A message from Canadian Blood Services. There's an immediate need for blood. Donor centers remain open throughout the pandemic and to provide essential products for patients in need. Book now, blood.ca. Your next report is at 4:51. Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Well, all of that precipitation is really starting to taper off. We do have a little bit of snow shower activity as you travel a little further north on the 400. That's where you will run into some of that wet snow. But again, not much of it is sticking this evening, so it really is going to be a calm and quiet day. We have lots of clouds across the GTA, and we will have that through the overnight as well. -2 is the overnight low, and then temperatures warm up to +1 tomorrow as we have more clouds, but a little bit of sunshine trying to sneak its way through with lighter winds, and then temperatures will drop down to -4 tomorrow evening. Right now, 0 at Pearson, 2 at 680 News, and tonight's overnight low -2.
680 news time, 4:43.
2 men are being treated for injuries following a shooting near Markham Road and Lawrence in Scarborough. Police were called just before 7 last night after both men checked themselves into a hospital. No update on injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. This is 680 News.
You need a loan,
but you don't want to go to the bank. So go to H.
Well, the law says I have to report these gunshots.
But it's also a place to borrow money, like a bank, but at a low rate that's not compounded. Bring in your valuables. H. Williams gives you money and locks them in their vault. Pay your loan back, get your stuff back. They're licensed and have been loaning money for over 70 years. Go see them in their safe environment. H. Williams Pawnbrokers. Look for the big red pawnbroker sign. 145 Church Street, north of Queen.
The holiday season always makes us feel better. So let's keep that healthy attitude going. And it starts now at Healthy Planet. All month, enjoy Boxing Day savings on healthy foods, supplements, sports, and beauty products. Now, Beyond Beef, Beyond Sausage, plant-based food. Buy 400 grams and get the second free. Plus, Mega entire line is 25% off. Visit one of Healthy Planet's 29 Canadian family-owned locations near you or healthyplanetcanada.com.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It is 0 now, overcast, feeling like -4. Good evening, I take the lead.
That's the other reason you're not supposed to make air filters or masks or things the same size as what you're talking about. All you people that get use the smallest pipe possible or direct vent appliances,
64 new infections
then go over the length because you're going by the larger pipe length and then put a fucking grill in there that you found at the hardware store instead of what came with the pipe.
Has already stepped down from his post as
That's why you die in your houses, all sealed up.
And no farmers, no food. That message from around 100 demonstrators this afternoon in Brampton. They were protesting a solidarity with Indian farmers over a bill they say will hurt farmers' livelihoods in India. 680 News Time, 4:45. Now time for sports. Here's Joe Ellie.
Let's get right to the NFL scoreboard for Week 17. 8 late games today. Not a ton of scoring so far, though I'm sure that will change shortly. 7-0 leads for the Saints, Colts, Chiefs, and Cards.
It's bad, sir. We gotta sell some more double chocolate muffins. I can't be the only customer.
For Arizona.
If I buy day-olds, I'm getting them half price.
Wrapping up their first playoff spot since 2002 with a 24-22 win over the Steelers. The Bills absolutely crushed the Dolphins today, 56-26. They clinched the number 2 seed in the AFC with the win. Ravens clinched a playoff spot as well. Their 38-3 win over the Bengals. Bucks also clinched the 5 seed in the NFC with their 44-27 win over the Falcons. The Giants beat the Cowboys 23-19. So either Washington or New York will win the NFC. Sunday Night Football will be the decider on that later. And over at Leafs training camp, where the 40-man roster was released today, Sheldon Keefe spoke to the media about some interesting line combos.
First of all, Joe Forty will start on left wing with Matthews and Marner. And we'll have BC play left side with Tavares and Nylander. And Wayne Simmons will join Jason Spencer.
I don't know why this matters.
Allows us to set up a lineup.
You got silver foil.
On his activities get going tomorrow, January 4th. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
I don't understand what the purpose is. You're not marketing to kids, or you're not marketing in any common sense way, except if you're trying to get kids' attention. I don't like that. I don't like that. I like the clear bag with the label on it, or without it. I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much what I thought.
You want to make the
most important financial decision of your life, and we want to help you make it, no matter what your finances are like. Northwood Mortgage, 416-969-8130, or visit us online at northwoodmortgage.com. License 10349.
Hi, I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. Covered by a mask and unable to touch, we've never needed our eyes more. To see and read, but also to smile, connect, and take the place of a hug. Why let glasses, contacts, and cataracts get in the way? Say I've had it and come to Herzig. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Herzig is prepared. You're protected. Look after yourself. Promise me.
680 News Time, 4:47. Tensions are rising as thousands of Iraqis commemorate the slaying of an Iranian military leader.
1 year today since the U.S. assassinated a top Iranian general in Iraq, and thousands of people have gathered in Baghdad's Tahrir Square. 5 Iraqi nationals, including 2 militia leaders, were killed in the strike. Meanwhile, Iran has announced it plans on enriching uranium up to 20%, far below the level needed to build a nuclear weapon, but far higher than was agreed in the 2015 nuclear deal that President Trump pulled the U.S. out of. Julia McFarlane, ABC News at the Foreign Desk, London.
And this just into 680 News, a Liberal member of Parliament stepping down from her parliamentary secretary duties after taking a trip to Seattle. MP Kamal Kara of Brampton West went to Seattle over the holidays, she writes, because she had to attend a memorial for both her uncle and her father. She adds she returned on December 31st, and also that she suffered herself from COVID-19 last year. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story. An Indigenous filmmaker from the West Coast has passed away at only 27 years old.
Karen Kujaneu, a Vancouver Indigenous
I know, because I had COVID in March.
on New Year's
I had
Eve.
COVID
He's
20
known for his appearance in Bella Ciao and his comedy special White Noise. Taryn was named the 2018 Star to Watch at the Whistler Film Festival, but for his sister Cheyenne Kujaneu, he'll be best remembered for his happy way of life.
Make sure everyone was okay, everyone was comfortable. He had a way with words, you know, he's very happy. He was always happy. He's always making jokes. You know, he's very funny. He's made memes.
Taryn was a member of the Sioux Nation. He was from Cold Lake, Alberta. I'm Kareem Gouda.
This is 680 News at 4:49. There's sadness in a tight-knit northwestern Alberta community after a deadly helicopter crash.
4 members of the same family, 2 adults and 2 children under the age of 18, perished when the chopper went down in a farmer's field in Spirit River New Year's Day evening. Officers responding to an emergency beacon found the wreckage with no survivors.
Our members attended, located the crash site in the farmer's field, and located the 4 individuals of the helicopter and confirmed all 4 were deceased.
RCMP Sergeant Sean French says, referring to COVID-19, it's been a tough year, one more tragedy heaped on another. The helicopter was privately owned. The Transportation Safety Board is trying to determine what went so wrong. Jerry Smith, the Canadian Press.
This is 680 News. Traffic and weather is next.
Being a new mom isn't easy, but hugging's easy. Loving's easy. And baby D-drops are easy too. Simply apply just 1 drop where baby feeds. There's no taste, so it doesn't interfere with feeding. Pediatricians recommend vitamin D daily for breastfed infants. Baby D-drops, the sunshine vitamin in just 1 drop.
Always be the first to know. The new 680 News Be the First to Know newsletter. Brought to you by Diamond & Diamond Lawyers.
The current top 5 stories.
Plus weather and your favorite contests, like the 680 News Weather Guarantee.
Twice daily.
Subscribe now at 680news.com/newsletters.
And always be the first to know.
6:80 news time, 4:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Freedom Mobile on the eastbound 401 approaching the 400 in the express. We have a garbage bin rolling around near the right lane. Still looking for it on the cameras. Just watch out if you're traveling in that area. And then past that, eastbound 401 at Leslie in the collectors, there's a crash here blocking the right lane. It looks like we have tows and emergency crews on scene. The ramp lane is available, so you can still exit the eastbound 401 at Leslie, but you'll find the right lane tied up, and there's a slowdown eastbound 401 from east of Bayview over to Leslie in the collectors. The express in much better shape through this area. Westbound 401 is still moving well. We're trouble-free on the 404 Don Valley Parkway combination, and also no problems on the Gardner-Queenie combination. In Brampton, eastbound Queen is closed from McVean to Cherry Crest Drive, and that's because of a collision. It's been there for quite a while.